Yo, 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 what's going on, everyone? Welcome in to a DFS strategy video for the 2025 CJ Cup Byron Nelson. My name is Eric, and I'm here at SweetSpotDFS to go over everything you're going to want to know on how to target the optimal lineup this week. Of course, with me in this channel, I'm really trying to search for the perfect lineup. And that means going over, well, I mean, the things I like to go over in these videos, the golf course, just to see if there is a particular shot shape or a type of golfer that does well at this golf course. I like to go over the tournament information just to give you guys a rundown of things to expect this week. I then go into the sweet spot process, which is going over the pass optimal and GPP winning lineups, because honestly, every single week I see a lot of the same things. Well, I shouldn't even say a lot of the same things. I analyze every event going back to 2013. So obviously we're at the Byron Nelson. The golf course has changed over the years, but the tournament relatively remains the same. The name Byron Nelson has some prestige that comes with it. So a lot of your prominent Texas golfers play this event, and a lot of people who enjoy history play this event. Obviously we don't have a huge field this week, and I'll get more into that. But if we can look at past Byron Nelson events and try to determine, hey, what golfers finish inside the top 10 based off their lead-in stats, that's what the sweet spot process does. So I like to go over pass optimal and GPP winning lineups just to see what kind of salary builds tend to be inside the GPP winning lineup, the optimal lineup, and the sweet spot optimal. I also like to cover, you know, historic salary builds just to see, you know, an event like this, what do we often see when it comes to those? Again, what lineups do we tend to see? There is a bit that I want to go over, and it's about Scottie Scheffler being $13,000. I put a lot of thought into this today. I've listened to a couple videos talk about, you know, Scheffler having to be first or second when it comes to, you know, to roster him. What are the likelihood, or what are the chances you're going to win a GPP having him in your lineups if he doesn't finish first or second? So I'm going to go over that because that is very compelling. I did a deep dive in it, and I'll cover more of that a little bit later. I'm not going to review the Zurich. It's kind of funny. Last week, I told all you guys, you know, if this was a week to maybe just lay low, don't put a lot of money into it. I know there was success throughout the DFS industry of people, you know, making some decent money. I think Byron got his first outright in a while, so congrats to Byron. I did play it light because the team event, like the sweet spot process, doesn't it doesn't support a team event like that. It's all based off of individual performances, and it's really difficult to separate individual performances from a team event. So unfortunately, there wasn't much of a sweet spot process for the Zurich, and I did go over that. And I didn't put a lot of money into it because I didn't care. Let's put it that way. I didn't care. So I did enough to gain the data and all the information that comes with it, but that's it. That's all that I played last week for, is just to get information as to, you know, just all the things. And then I'm going to jump into the bucket system for the Byron Nelson. We finally have a regular event this week, so I'm excited to get into it. I see a lot of people in the chat talking about their excitement about this week. So I agree. It's good to get past the Zurich. You know, there's a little bit of a hangover that comes with the Masters every single time the Masters, you know, finishes, or the Masters week goes by. You know, RBC is always the next week, and there's still a little bit of hype with the RBC, but it's definitely one of those like, oh man, can't, you know, this is great to not, you know, worry about an event, or I don't know. There was the Zurich was a recharge moment, and that was certainly the true for me. I didn't put a lot of effort into the website last week. I didn't put a lot of effort into a lot of things DFS related. It was a good reprieve because the Masters is always the best week of golf, for me at least. I think for most people too. And it was good to kind of, you know, get a little recharge during the Zurich. This week and moving forward, it's totally different though. Like, I do feel great. I do feel the energy in the chat. I'm excited too. I definitely want, you know, from here going forward to do well. And of course, 2 weeks ago at the RBC, I, you know, won $1,200. So that was awesome. that was great. And then the Zurich was just like a little reprieve, and now we're back at it. So hopefully we can bring a little mojo into this week. And then I'm going to go into the bucket system. The last piece that I'm going to cover is the bucket system and the Marquee Tee Times, because they just tend to work. And the Marquee Tee Times worked at the Zurich. Again, I'm not reviewing it, but we did have two golfers or two teams from the Marquee Tee Times that were a part of it. It was the Ben Griffin group, and it was the Rory McIlroy, Shane Lowry group. So, and if you want more information on that, I implore you to go to SweetSpotDFS.com and check out what the past optimal lineups were for the Zurich Classic. I do have it up. It's been updated. So with that being said, let's go into some updates. Now, if you are someone who absolutely hates updates and giveaway reminders and all that stuff, there are timestamps in the description below. Of course, this is live right now. That's another reminder for those that are watching this on replay. This is live. I like to interact with my chat. I like to talk to my chat. But I'm certainly going to go over giveaways here, and we're also going to talk about some updates moving forward. So again, hit the timestamps down below. Move forward if you want. And actually, the little progress bar right here, it's broken up into chapters. Again, not for you live people here in the chat, not for you, but on replay, there will be the little progress bar. Just go to the next segment. You don't have to stick around for this. I'm giving you your fair warning. So let's start with giveaway reminders right away. If you didn't know, I always give away $5 weekly, and it just requires your participation. It requires you to be subscribed to the channel and to comment. I do roll calls, which is just be here in chat, and you get entries that way, or leave a comment after this goes live. Because once it goes live, it gets uploaded to YouTube, and you can watch it as many times as you'd like. Well, there's a comment section there. If you go leave a comment there, you get an additional entry. And if you look at the description of this video, there is a little Easter egg to get an additional entry, which one person left a comment during the Zurich Classic, and he left it this morning. It was Gabe from earlier in the chat. So that still counts, although it's like it shouldn't count, because what I want you guys to help me do is boost the algorithm, and doing so is getting you to interact, you know, with the comment section and here in chat, hitting the like button. By the way, if we get to 25 likes, I'll give away 5 YouTube memberships that will allow you to watch the member only live stream tomorrow night, where we go a little bit deeper into the DFS analysis for this week. So if you help me, I'm going to help you no matter what. So $5 weekly, we will be doing a giveaway here shortly. And then next Tuesday, which is the Truist Championship, a signature event, I will be doing a monthly giveaway for this month. So really, that just this is your last week to get entries into to get applied to the monthly giveaway. And currently, it's going to be a membership at SweetSpotDFS.com, a monthly membership. Now, if you already have a monthly membership, I'll just give you $20 in cash. So it'll be just a $20 give. You know, I'll just give you 20 bucks. If we ever reach the subscriber goal, which you can see all the way over there to the left, I just add a t-shirt to the mix. So this is one of them. This is just one of the 3 that we came up with during our little merch drop that we had in November, or right before Black Friday. So again, it's just giving away certain things, giving away more than I have to, just, you know, to pay my respects and thank you for, you know, helping me become more successful on YouTube, basically. So, another giveaway that I'm doing is a SweetSpotDFS.com giveaway. Basically, once I reach 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to give away $1,000 worth of giveaways. So if you're not a subscriber on this channel, please do so, and it will just get us that much closer to running this giveaway. And then if you want to be a part of the giveaway, the only thing you have to do is go to SweetSpotDFS.com and sign up. Just create an account. That's all you have to do. You don't have to put down your credit card information. You don't have to pay for anything. A free account is all you need to do to be a part of this giveaway. But of course, I have tools that I'll be showcasing throughout this video that are behind a paywall. So if you want the opportunity to use those tools, you're going to have to pay some money for it. And here on SweetSpot DFS, all I will hold myself to this, or what am I trying to say? My promise to you guys is you'll never have to spend more than $20 a month on SweetSpot DFS, whether it's here in the YouTube channel or on SweetSpotDFS.com. So if you spend the $5 a month to be a white tier member, or anything white tier and above, whatever, well, it's just, never mind. It's just the $5. I was getting ahead of myself. If you are a white tier member, you automatically get $5 off of a monthly giveaway or a monthly membership at SweetSpotDFS.com, because the monthly membership is $20. So again, if you spend $5 here at YouTube, I will take $5 off at SweetSpotDFS.com. Again, I don't want you spending more than $20 a month, because quite frankly, I don't want to spend more than $20 on someone's site. Those people that are charging like $600 a year for their advice on some of their sites, that's ridiculous. I love my site, and it's just going to get better and better and better. So again, that's my promise to you, at least for the foreseeable future. Who knows? I don't think it's gonna it's gonna be anything more than that. I certainly don't want it to be, but who knows? Who knows what kind of partnerships come down the road that might boost that up a little bit. So anyways, that's my promise to you, $20 a month. Again, sign up on SweetSpotDFS.com. Let's go ahead and run a giveaway, shall we? And I'll get to the chat here shortly. I had 10 total entries for the Zurich. That's how beloved the Zurich Classic in New Orleans was. That's, I mean, that was to be expected. Not a lot of people cared. Not a lot of people were in the live stream. Not a lot of people left comments. Again, I only had one from Gabe. And actually, let me zoom in for you guys that are hard to see, like AJ Love watching it on his TV. Kidding. So yeah, 10 total entries. So hey, $5 is going to someone. You guys could have, this is the best chances, the best odds someone could have in winning a giveaway. Here we go. There we go. AJ left 2. He was here for the live video, and he was here for 2 roll calls. So congrats, AJ. I'll send you your $5 after the stream. If I just tend to forget, just remind me as usual. So congrats, dude. Let's go ahead. Well, let me catch up with chat, and then we're gonna dive into the strategy, the video. All right, so Gabe says, I'm freaking ready for this week. Regardless of the outcome, I'm happy to get to play this silly game. When you get there, can you build me? Okay, so someone remind me that Gabe has a lineup. I'm not gonna pin it just yet, because I don't want that to be confusing for people watching this later. I'm ready for this week. I won my money back and lost my winner take all last week. Let's go. Were you close to winning, AJ? John Bizzle, what's going on, man? Nice to see you. Lombardi Lee, nice to see you. William Hickey, let's go. Nathan Johnson, hey, first time in the live video for a little while. Cheers to you as well. Everybody's saying hi to everybody. Charlie Carden goes, Scottie needs a win. He going to boat race. I know I'm going out on a limb. And AJ did send me a picture of his SweetSpot shirt, the red Iron Man shirt, as I like to call it. You can see my name. Yep, you won, sir. Okay, that's the chat. Let's get in this and talk about the golf course and tournament information. Now, if you didn't know, you can go to SweetSpotDFS.com to get this information. We are at the TPC, or we're at TPC Craig Ranch, which is the golf course that the Byron Nelson has TPC Craig Ranch has hosted the Byron Nelson, I think, for the last 4 years, I want to say. Let me zoom in and take a look. Yeah, so 2025, 24, 23, 22, and 2021. So right after COVID. So this will be the 5th year that TPC Craig Ranch has hosted the Byron Nelson. So You can certainly use the last 4 years for course history. I guess it doesn't really matter to me when it comes to tournament history. 4 years is definitely plenty of data needed to normalize whatever results that, you know, you find important or what that you would think that you would need. So I have 2025 loaded in here. There have been updates to this golf course. So if you were to click on 2024 and take a look, this is the beautiful thing about SweetSpotDFS.com. It shows you the like, if you just toggle between 2025 and 2024, you can see the par changes, the yardage changes, the grass even changes. We had Bermuda and Zoysia, and now we're on ryegrass. So there's a lot of things changing. And if you go to the tournament fact sheets, which you can still access on SweetSpotDFS.com, right here, tournament fact sheets. If you drill down on that, it'll bring you to the tournament fact sheets. And if you go into here and you look at the CJ Cup, and if I scroll up or scroll in a little bit, you can see CJ Cup, TPC Craig Ranch, all the information that's on my site, you can see here as well. And then upcoming renovation, Lanny Watkins, summer of 2025. So basically right after this event, they're going to renovate it. I imagine they're still going to be the tournament host going forward. But I have updated the scorecard because, again, if you go from 2024 to 2025, you will see some yardage changes. So hole 5, if you take a look at hole 5, in 2025, it's 635 yards. Last year was 569. I think it's hole 8 is another update. Yeah, now it's 509. It once was 482. So you can see some of the updates if you just toggle between 2025 and 2024. Shot shapes don't really change. I didn't see any differences when it comes to, like, you know, different angles of approach into the greens. Now, the shot shapes that I have on the site, this isn't a requirement. They're not required to hit those types of shots. It is just a preferred shot shape to help golfers score better. Because if there are pins that are tucked behind bunkers or behind water hazards, which I don't think there are many. I do have water holes. Okay, there's 13 holes where water's in play. I don't know how prevalent that is. I didn't really look right before jumping on. But quite frankly, I don't remember there being a lot of water next to the greens. I don't think there will be a lot of tucked pins, but of course, if there's any roll off, if there's any false fronts or anything like that, hitting a specific shot shape into those holes just offers the most forgiveness to, you know, reach those holes a little bit easier. So that's the only thing that comes with that. Again, you can access that SweetSpotDFS.com and do your own research. Just take a look. If it matters to you, wonderful. If not, so be it. Not a big deal. But that is the golf course. I have nothing else to provide, so let's go into the tournament. I guess we can start here. I tend to forget to do this every once in a while. Your average winning score is nearly 25 under. Almost every year it's been 25 under. That's probably what we can expect. Now that I look at this, it was Jason Day here that I won my GPP 2 years ago. It was just the quarter arcade. It wasn't anything super serious, but you know, it was $300 that I only put like $50 in. I always thought it was the Valero Texas Open, but he won this one. Interesting. And KH Lee, you know what? I've had a lot of success at this event, except for last year. I remember winning 2 years in a row. I think I won the Nagels Bagels contest when he was still running. It was a $5 winner take all, and you get $450 for winning it. So I actually had a bigger payday winning that 100-man contest for, you know, a $5 entry fee than I did putting a quarter into the quarter jukebox and winning $300 in 2023. So hey, that actually gives me a bit more confidence, you know, that choosing the correct golfers or coming up with or I should say this, reviewing the sweet spot process gives me way more confidence building lineups this week. Not that it never does. It always does, but I guess the mojo's feeling good. Let's put it that way. Mojo's feeling good. I just realized I always forget which tournament it is. It's this one. Anyways, So that's what we can expect. Now, when we come down here and take a look at the cut, obviously the cut is one better. So it was 6 under. The cut was 6 under in 2021. It was 5 under in 2022. It was 6 under in 2023, and it was 6 under last year. So we need golfers who can make birdies in bunches. Jason Day is not a golfer that I would have assumed in 2023 that would have done that. I'm pretty sure he was blacklisted on the golfers that I typically play back then, but I'm like, you know what? I'll throw him in a couple lineups, and I just put the right lineup together with Jason Day. I think he was pretty low owned also, and he ended up winning the event. So that was cool, and I won the money. I guess, you know, obviously what I would love to tell you, and this is a tool that I'm going to build in the future. Now, you can absolutely go to SweetSpotDFS.com and take a look at strokes gain stats, and you can select the golf tournament. You know, like if I go ahead and just type in Byron Nelson, a lot of this are short names. So if you are new to the site and you don't know how to find a golf course, just type in a short name and it should bring it up. So Byron Nelson is the prominent name. Now, when you come down here and you take a look at the stats, the one thing you can just straight away do is just go strokes gain total. And in fact, this little box here, this is of all the golfers that are in the field. This is probably the better box to look at, is this one here. But you can see their individual performances down here. So if I were to drill down on Scottie Scheffler, he has played here 4 times and hasn't won this tournament yet. A 5th, a 15th, 47th, and a 35th place. And you can see the DraftKings points he scored. You can see some of the strokes gain stats that come with him. Now, this is by tournament. You could go by round and do the exact same thing. Just go apply those filters once again. Go ahead and go into the tournament and put in Byron Nelson here. Although there are tabs that, you know, filter between, they're technically 2 pages, and these are buttons to get to the 2 different reports that I have. But if we look at Scottie Scheffler, now you can look at a round by round basis of each event, and you can see the year that he played over in the farther left, and then you can see more of the specific tournaments there. But I'll drill back down on Scottie, and you can see the total. So you can come here and take a look. But what I was getting at is I will have a page. There will be a tool where it will just look at their average score. Their average score at a particular golf course. I suppose maybe I do have something like that, round by round stats. Yeah, actually I do. This is a good tool to use. I totally forgot about it. It's still kind of in the process of being updated. You can see I've done some changes to it, trying to make it look prettier and more effective, useful. Same thing applies here though, but you'll have to type in Scottie Scheffler. Drill down on that, and we're on totals right now, so let's just go Scottie Scheffler at the Byron Nelson. And these are filters. Anything in this little gray box, they're all filters that you can use. And so now we can actually see his score to par. We can see what his round 1 scores are. Surprise, surprise, Scottie owns round 1. So showdown for round 1, you should probably play Scottie Scheffler. Round 2, round 3, round 4. You can see what he does for each round. This is horizontal. So round 1, we've seen him have 3 eagles at this tournament, 25 birdies, 34 pars. So you can see a lot of this stuff. And it isn't very easy to go player by player or you know, just cycle through all the different players. But if, say, you're like, you know what, I want to see Jordan Spieth, how well he's played here. Well, just drill down his name and get rid of Scottie so you don't, you know, combine the 2. And then you can kind of compare and just see, you know, if you're looking for birdies. So Spieth, over all the years he's been, that he's played here, looks like all the way since 2013. And I do have birdies, it looks like. Well, I shouldn't say I have birdies for all of those events. I don't remember. Ooh, there actually would be a... I can go to summary and you can see how many, like what he does round by round. So round 1, 2, 3, 4, you can see his average score, low score, high, how many eagles per round he has, how many birdies per round he has. So you can actually use this tool for like your underdog and prize pick stuff. So whatever line they set, you can come here and take a look and compare it to the Byron Nelson. So anyways, I say all of this because I was mentioning the golf course, and all the stats that come with it. We can use course history. We want to find birdie makers. We want to find scorers. So you can come and use this tool to find all that stuff out. There's more to talk about Scottie, by the way, when it comes to lineup builds, and that will be the next segment. But if you like the stats that you saw from Scottie Scheffler, by all means play them. And then we'll talk about salary structures here in a little bit. So yeah, that's basically it when it comes to the golf course. The tournament, I guess, let's go back into my spreadsheet, take a look. Our strength of field's pretty low. It's 262. Now, compared to last year our strength of field was 209. So it's actually a little stronger this year than it was last year. In 2023, it was 223. So again, a little stronger this year, but it was 350 in 2022. And then in 2021, it was 275. So only in 2022 was it a little bit different than it was this year. But yeah, this year's a pretty high strength of, well, I would put it in the same bucket, honestly. Anything in that 200 to 300 range is, you can consider that this event. And unfortunately, I don't have those as filters on the website yet, but I will add that. And I actually forgot to go over updates about the website. I'll do that at the end of the video. There are some things to talk about when it comes to the website, so I'll do that then. You will have, or we will have, 156 golfers in this field. It'll be top 65 in ties like usual. And I think we've had it 156 the last few years. Yeah, I mean this entire tournament. This is like one of the first tournaments where it ends up being 156. I think this really kind of marks the beginning of summer golf or the PGA Tour. Although it's not summer yet, we can kind of mark it that way. It's definitely light enough out where you can get 156 golfers in the field and get the rounds done. So now moving forward, more golfers will be cut, meaning choices will be a bit more challenging. And this is where the sweet spot process shines, honestly. So really excited about this this week. And I really have nothing else to talk about with the tournament, really. So I'll check out the chat, and then we'll get into the pass optimal GPP winning lineups. Do you have average birdies per round? I do per golfer. Actually, yeah, if you wanted to use round by round stats, just get rid of the golfer, and then you can see Byron Nelson. And so you can see what the average birdies are. 4, 3.9, 4, like just look at the birdie section here and then just track it with the rounds here on the left side. Birdies 4, it's basically 4. Round 4 actually has more birdies, but of course your better golfers make it to round 4. Golfers get cut after round 2, so it is common to see that your average birdies is going to be lower than you would in round 3 and 4. And then you can see the round under 70%. Like there's this page here, just go under fantasy tools and it's round by round stats. And I have a summary that just gives you the averages. Obviously, when it says low, that means it's the lowest round. And when it says high, it's the highest round. But it's average eagles, average birdies, average pars, average bogeys plus. That includes double bogeys as well. I would have had bogeys and then double bogey worse, but as you can see, it's already crowded in this little box. And this is the most important information that I cared for to put up here. But you could also go into totals and take a look at all the totals, total pars, bogeys, all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of cool with the totals. I think it's best just using a golfer, choosing whatever golfer you want to look at and just seeing how they perform. So again, Scottie is always at the top of my list to search to see how well he does at each event. And so you can see his individual performances here, and then we can see his round by round summaries right up here. And then it says, like it says choose your view. There are going to be buttons here where you can actually flip through different types of views that will have different scores. So currently what you're seeing is basically what I call the position after summary. So if you wanted to see what happens to Scottie Scheffler when, say, he's 12th place or better, you type in 12 here, hit enter, and it will trim down whenever he's 12th or better after round 1. So you can see what ends up happening here. Believe it or not, in 2023, he was leading the event after round 2 and ended up losing, or just ended up not winning. So the juggernaut, who he typically, you know, once he's out in a lead, keeps his lead, didn't in 2023. So cool things that you can take a look at on this site. And again, it's only gonna get better. I mean, I'm gonna add more and more things to it. You can already see there's been updates. I do intend to have at least 4 views here. This might be a little bit big, like it might be ambitious, because it, you know, these are buttons right here. These are the buttons that I plan to kind of put here, but maybe I'll just make them larger to make it look, you know, to fill the void. But there'll probably be 3 for sure views that I plan on building, but possibly 4. We'll see. But yeah, that's pretty cool with that. And then Shalai Karn asks, what do you think the winning score will be? I think the winning score will definitely be around 2,500. It's an easy answer, but it's just like, look at every single year. If I zoom in on this for all of those in the back, minus 23, minus 23, minus 26, minus 25. Obviously, if we see there's a lot of wind that's coming in, that'll probably change. So if you are betting what the, you know, the low or what the winning score will be, just obviously take a look at weather Wednesday night and just see, you know, if you got winds that are over 12 miles an hour, just shave a stroke off. And then from there, every 4 miles over 12 miles an hour, shave a stroke off. That's probably the best way to put it, because I know people like to talk about wind, but nobody really understands how wind affects golf balls. 12 miles an hour is kind of your sweet spot when it comes to downwind and into the wind, tailwind and headwind. 12 miles an hour into your face will be a full club difference of wind. 12 miles an hour behind you will be half of a club. Basically anything that's behind you, you just kind of half. And most golfers' yardages are about 12 yards difference. That's why I like 12 miles an hour is technically, I mean, that's pretty, I don't know. I would say it's pretty standard as to what a full club difference would be if you were to hit into the wind. It's not absolutely perfect for every golfer. Golfers who hit the ball further, that hit the ball higher in the air, their ball is going to get affected by the wind more so than a guy who doesn't hit it as far. Believe it or not. Believe it or not. That's because golfers who hit it further put more RPMs on their golf ball. Some golfers are good at removing it, but the old adage goes, the longer the ball's in the air, the more wind is going to affect the golf ball. Simply put. And for those that think you can hit a mile, like a ball super low, super far, you really can't. It's dependent on roll in order for it to travel further. It won't stay in the air that long if you hit it low. So apex doesn't matter to me if the course isn't rolling, if it's not firm and fast. If it's soft, it won't go anywhere. People, I'm not calling out anybody in chat. This has nothing to do with chat. This is all with content creators. Apex is one of the dumbest stats to look at because it's physics. You have to think of physics. A ball that stays in the air longer will go further. You can't hit it harder hitting it lower. You hit it the same speed. So when it's lower, it doesn't travel as far. In order for it to travel further when it's lower, it has to have more backspin on it. More backspin will get hit by the wind harder and the ball will go shorter. That's why they say don't swing as hard into the wind. It has a lot to do with amateurs just putting too many RPMs on their golf ball. These pros don't put as many RPMs on their golf ball, but this still affected the same way. So there's my TED Talk for the quick segment here. But yeah, that's my 2 cents. Let's move on to pass optimal and GPP winning lineups. My favorite segment. When it comes to this segment, well, first of all, there's a question that I've been thinking about, that I've been listening to, and has everything to do with basically to play Scottie Scheffler or not to play Scottie Scheffler. That is the question. And the very first thing I actually want to do before I even look into this event is going over Scottie Scheffler. I was watching Wiley and Keith Stewart earlier today. I don't mind giving them a shout out because I enjoy their show. They're not pompous. Well, Wiley acts pompous, but it's more of an entertainment way. I like those guys. I don't mind pumping them up. They haven't. I mean, they brought my name up in the chat quite a bit because I was interacting with them. So I'll give them their due because they gave me their due, or my due. Anyways, the big conversation was Scottie Scheffler or not, and I decided to do some research as to, like I was thinking to myself, and Wiley mentioned this. He's like, anytime that Scottie's been, or he was talking about when Scottie's that expensive, there's always a 5K range to help out. So I was like, oh, that's actually a really good point. So what you can do on this page here, Pass Optimals, go into the Pass Optimals. Under More Filters, this is one of the few more filters where there's actually more filters. Go into Golfer Name. I have Scottie Scheffler already loaded in there, basically. Hit Less Filters. And then what we can do is just go by salary, top to bottom. And we can see what some of his finishes were. I'll try to zoom in. Let me zoom in a little bit more just to make it easier for you guys to see. So, his most expensive price tag was the 2022 Tour Championship. I don't like using the Tour Championship as any way to analyze salaries or anything like that. But when I take a look at this is Scottie Scheffler, by the way, this week is 13,300. I don't have that in this part of the website, but if I were to go to the cheat sheet, which I forgot, dude, I forgot to even mention this earlier in the video, and I forgot to mention the optimizer that I'll be using. My bad. If you're watching it right now, we'll be building lineups later in the video using the SweetSpot DFS optimizer. Here's the cheat sheet. You can see Scottie Scheffler's 13,300. Next price guy is 10,500. But if you scroll down, you can also access the old cheat sheet, which is a Google sheet. If you click here, this will bring you to the cheat sheet. And again, you can follow along with me throughout this video here once we get past this segment on the cheat sheet, that is. Follow me on the cheat sheet because this is exactly what I'll be covering when we get there. Now, going back to what I was mentioning, Scottie Scheffler is $13,300 this week. The question is, what position does Scottie Scheffler need to finish in order for him to pay off his price tag? Well, here's a wonderful thing about SweetSpotDFS.com. You go to this page, Pass Optimals, go into More Filters, put in Scottie Scheffler, hit Less Filters. Now you get to choose which lineup you want to analyze, Optimal, GPP, or SweetSpot Optimal. So let's go ahead and put in the optimal lineup. The only time Scottie, now again, if I take off the optimal lineup, first of all, I have to resort it. Yeah, I got to resort it. Okay. I didn't know that. But we can see 13,600, 13,400, 13,003, 13,003, 13,002, 13,001, 13. Okay, cool. Let's hit optimal lineup. When Scottie Scheffler's been a part of the optimal lineup, he has been 13,000 before. So 13,300 at the RBC Heritage, 13,300 at the Charles Schwab Challenge. These are all in 2024, by the way. And he was $13,000 at the Houston Open, as well as 12.8. I'm going to include 12.8. But you want to see something? Is the first thing you notice? First, second, first. And it's a tie for second, by the way. It isn't until we get down to 11,300 where he finished third. And again, this is the optimal lineup. It's the perfect lineup. So this is not being very forgiving. And the worst, fourth at 11,100. But every other time he's been a part of the optimal lineup, he's been first, second, and first or second. I'm not going to include third down here, 11.6. We're not even close to that price tag. 12.8 is really the only price tag that I'm kind of thinking about. Okay, so that's your most, strict lineup is the optimal because it's perfect. SweetSpot Optimal would be the next perfect lineup. And you can see in 2025, the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Actually, let me go this way. Either way, 11,900. Again, we're not close to the 11,900. That's when he finished ninth. He did finish 7th at the Open Championship. But there's something to talk about these tournaments. Charles Schwab, Houston Open, Open Championship, and Players Championship. So I'm just going to cut to the chase. I can show you, but it's going to take a little time to load it in or load it up. Each of these 4 years where he was 12,800 and above, and actually not here at the 2025 Houston Open, but these 4 years, Players, Open, Houston, and Charles Schwab, there was a 5K range included. There is not a 5K range this week. So that makes rostering golfers a bit tricky. Like it's a bit more challenging. And if we wanted to go into these events, all we got to do is just type it in. So 2024. And so it's Charles Schwab, Houston Open, and Players Championship. I think I can remember that. So Charles Schwab. And we can type multiple names in here, by the way. So if you want to come here and take a look for yourself, obviously more than welcome to. And you can do the exact same thing that I'm doing. So I'm just applying filters to this page. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of Scottie Scheffler's name. So let's just go ahead and uncheck him. Hit less filters. And now what I'm really going to do is I'm going to sort by tournament name. And this is 2024, your SweetSpot Optimal, for the events that we just saw Scottie Scheffler. Now I have it sorted by the event. And I can't really, I mean, I guess I could go, whatever. We're going to keep it like this. So Charles Schwab. So you got your 6 SweetSpot Optimal lineups right here for the Charles Schwab. There's 6 golfers, I should say. It goes 13,300, 9,400, 8,300, 8,100, and then goes 5,800 and 5,100. Again, there's not a 6K range this week. You obviously see an 8K golfer. Actually, you see 2 8K golfers and a 9K golfer, a part of the SweetSpot Optimal. And all you need to know what the SweetSpot Optimal is, it is the best lineup that uses $49,600 of salary and above. I want you to spend no more than, or I want you to leave no more than $400 on the table when you're building your lineups. And that's what the SweetSpot Optimal shows you. This will always beat the GPP winning lineup unless the GPP winning lineup is perfect or ties the SweetSpot Optimal. So that is what the SweetSpot Optimal will always win you a GPP, always. And it uses 49,600 of the salary and above. I should say always. Whenever the GPP winning lineup is not the optimal or not the SweetSpot Optimal, the SweetSpot Optimal will beat the GPP winning lineup. So with that being said, do you think with 2.6, like again, $5,100 is almost the stone minimum for the Charles Schwab Challenge in 2024. 5,100. 6,000 is the stone min, and those golfers are worse than Hayden Buckley that are 6,000 flat. I'll just throw that out there right now. Hayden Buckley, not like, you know, the greatest golfer in the world, but he has at least shown up inside the top 10 at other events. So it's not uncommon to see Hayden Buckley at the top of the leaderboard. But again, $5,100 Hayden Buckley, $5,800 Davis Riley. So we don't have a $5,000 range. Houston Open, same thing. You had Nick Dunlap, $5,800, Alejandro Tosti, $5,300 in the 2024 Houston Open. And that went with Scottie, $9,900 Tony Finau, $8,900 Steven Yeager, and then it drops to the 7K range. So again, a high 9K, a high 8K to go with a $13,000 golfer? I don't think so. Not this week, at least. And then we come down here where Scottie was 12,800 at the Open Championship. And actually, you went with Xander Schauffele at 11,200. He's the one that won the tournament at the Open last year. And then you had Russell Henley, 6,700. And then you had a 6,500, a 6,900, and a 5,800. So 3 6K golfers and a 5K golfer. Like, that's insane. And then in the Players Championship in 2024, $12,800 Scottie Scheffler here, 9,800, 8,000, so 10,980, 755. We just don't have a 5K range this week, which I think I'm gonna agree with most people. If you've been to this channel before, I usually tell you Scottie doesn't have to win the event in order to pay off his salary. He doesn't have to finish second. He can finish 7th place. He can finish, you know, well, top 7. Yeah, he can finish top 7 and he would pay off his price tag. This week might be actually true where he does have to finish 1st or 2nd, 3rd at the absolute worst, but I don't know if 3rd would even get it done. So it's either a victory or 2nd place. I can't filter out 5K golfers, but if I were to, and we just take a look at Scottie Scheffler for other events, it's still kind of, you know, there still needs to be a low 6K involved. Actually, I shouldn't even say that. I'm not positive off the top of my head. I'm not gonna say something I don't really know. But either way, you can use this tool and take a look for yourself. Anytime that Scottie's been a part of the optimal, I mean, when he's been a part of the optimal, 13-3 is the price tag, and it's 1st, 2nd, 2nd. Part of the GPP winning lineup, 7th place is the worst place that I've seen him in a GPP winning lineup. And then SweetSpot optimal looks like 9th place, but that's 11,900. We're not even in that ballpark. And then if you just take off those, unfortunately, I can't really show you a non-optimal GPP or SweetSpot. Maybe that should be something I should do. Either way, you can actually use this table down here to see if he was a part of either of them. A 1 would indicate he was a part of that lineup. 0s would indicate he was not. So at 13-6, you see he wasn't a part of any of those. 13-4, same. And that's a 6th place finish. And oh, by the way, a 2nd place finish. That was the Tour Championship at 13-6. But then we come down here, finished 8th, 13-2. That obviously is not good enough to be in any of the lineups. 13-1 at the RBC Heritage. That obviously was not good enough. He finished 8th there. And oh, by the way, he is, I mean, this was the US Open. That was last year's US Open. He could finish 40th. I don't think he will because he's just obviously that good. But yes, I think he has to finish 1st or 2nd. So that's my Scottie Scheffler spiel here. Clamped says, "What is the salary referring to?" Let me know if you're caught up. I can surely explain it. But it's really just answering the question: are we going to play Scottie Scheffler this week or not? And if we are, what is the position that he truly needs to finish? People like to speculate. People like to speculate as to, you know, well, at his price tag, he does need to finish 1st or 2nd. I go over this a lot in these videos, especially when it pertains to Scottie Scheffler, because I truly want to know if there's truth in that. I have the statistics to show you on my website, SweetSpotDFS.com. And so we're investigating it together. We are researching it together to see if that is absolutely true. Now, going over all of this, when we take a look at this week's field, and I'm going to use my spreadsheet. You can also follow along on, at the cheat sheet that you can find at SweetSpotDFS.com. It goes from Scottie Scheffler at 13.3 to Jordan Spieth 10,005 to Sungjae Im at 10,000. Actually, let's cover everyone that's $9,100 and up. So I just went over the 10K range. Sam Burns at 9,800. Not a safe play. Hasn't really shown that he's played that great over the last, you know, I don't know, last 2 months. Sungjae seems like he's getting it back. So Sungjae is actually one of those guys I don't mind pivoting from when it comes to Scottie Scheffler down to another guy. Jordan Spieth. This is Texas. This golf course is somewhat wide open. I shouldn't say wide open, but it's definitely forgiving. They did say that they narrowed the fairways, but there's not a lot of tree cover here that's going to really impede Jordan Spieth playing, you know, hitting the ball all over the place. Because let's face it, Jordan Spieth, over the last 2 years, we've known to be an erratic golfer off of the tee. He has gained a little bit of speed, a little bit of distance, so that obviously helps at a golf course like this, where it's a little bit long and it would favor golfers who hit the ball a little bit further. So I don't mind Spieth, but you know, this isn't Golden Boy Spieth from 2016. It is definitely erratic and chaotic. to expect anything good from Jordan Spieth, but he can get it done. He can get it done. His buddy JT just won a tournament. Maybe this is where what did they call themselves? It was him, Smiley Kaufman, him, JT, Smiley Kaufman, and Ricky Fowler when they go on their spring break trips. I don't know if they recall the name or whatever, but hey, who knows? Maybe they'll all get in the winner's circle this year. Maybe Jordan's next, and maybe Ricky Fowler will be after that. Smiley obviously he's retired from golfing, but either way, I guess I don't mind going to Jordan Spieth. Sungjae is probably the one I'm more comfortable playing. I do like Sam Burns, just like Shot Harden, but I don't know if I can get there. Benny Ann at $9,700. Oh, man. Talk about golfers you can't trust. I don't trust Benny Ann at 97. I also don't trust the defending champion Taylor Pendrith. He is third in my model, but I don't know if I can get there. Siwoo Kim I cannot trust. Steven Yeager seems okay. Like, I don't mind that. Anytime that, Steven Yeager plays well at an event, so does Scottie Scheffler. But going from 13.3 to 9,300, I don't know if that's possible. Ben Griffin just got his first victory. I think what this will do for Ben Griffin will be, now that he's got the victory, I think a big weight gets put off of his shoulder, and now he can just breathe comfortably for a little bit. I actually think that improves his performance and not decreases it. So I do like Ben Griffin. And Mac Hughes, it's not a terrible golf course for Mac Hughes. He's a golfer who doesn't really hit the ball very straight, and he doesn't hit it very far, although he's trying to gain distance. I don't mind him. You know what? I'll throw Rasmus and Will Zalatoris in here. They're fine. And actually, I'm gonna cut it off right here at Tom Kim. $8,700. Yeah, I could see Tom Kim doing well this week. He moved to Dallas. This is a Texas event, pretty much in Dallas. So yeah, I got no issue playing some of these guys. But anyways, again, we're going from Scottie down. I've kind of lost the plot a little bit, but I'm really just trying to find viable options, pivoting away from Scottie Scheffler at 13,300. And I don't hate it. I don't mind it. I do think this might be the week Scottie's the most owned. I said to a friend, he'd probably be 70% owned this week. That's probably not going to happen because there's a lot of game theory bros that are out there that would rather not play a high-owned, high-priced Scottie Scheffler, and so be it. That's fine. I'm still going to have my shares. I'll probably have 30% of Scottie Scheffler in my lineups. I might even have a little bit more because it is very difficult to think of a lot of lineups that go 10, 9, 8, especially with some of these golfers here in the AK range. Some of them are okay. Never mind. When I first looked at it, I was like, nope, don't want anything to do with it. But now that I see it a little bit more, I'm okay with it. Okay. Like I said, I lost the plot a little bit. I wanted to, go over a segment to Scottie or not to Scottie, and I think we went over it just fine. So in this other tool, I have historic salary builds. We can take a look at the Byron Nelson. You can actually filter out which lineup you would rather look at. If you want to look at all three, you don't put any filter on. If you want to look at just the GPP winner, you click into the GPP winner. Click out of it to switch it, go into optimal. You can select multiple at the same time. So if you wanted to deselect some of these, so I have SweetSpot Optimal with Optimal, you can certainly look at it that way, or you can just get rid of all the filters altogether. And this is what I like to start out with. The most common lineup build, 10-9-8-7-7-6. If you drill down into this, we can look down here into this box and see a little bit more information on this. We can see that it was your SweetSpot Optimal, your GPP winner, and your Optimal in 2021. So that was really technically 1 year for all three of those lineups. And then it's the 2019 Byron Nelson, which was just the SweetSpot Optimal there. If I go into the other one, 10-9, 3 7s and a 6, we do get 2022 twice and then 2023 once. That's leaving a lot of money on the table. I don't recommend that. And $6,600, by the way, was the minimum salary for each of those. So you can kind of just drill down into these just to see, the differences. I'm glad I'm doing this because now I'm seeing a lot of the years are the same. So 2018 was your SweetSpot Optimal and your Optimal. That was the same lineup apparently. 2 9s, an 8, and 3 7s. So this is actually, now that we've drilled down into this, all this tells me is it's pretty wide open. 10, 9, 8, 7, 7, 6 is still the preferred lineup method when it comes to building lineups, or the strategy build, or the salary build. 10, 9, 3, 7s and a 6. Two of them leave $900 on the table. That's impossible. Like, I would not do that. And yeah. Man. It's pretty brave for a GPP winning lineup to leave that much money on the table. And if you wanted to drill down into these, you can actually go between the two reports. So historic salary builds, I kind of want to look at, I want to take a look at the 2023 GPP winning lineup. So I can go into here, just click GPP winning lineup right away, 2023, and then we can go right into here. Oh, I see Scottie Scheffler is still selected, so we'll deselect him. 2023, and just type in Byron Nelson, or just start to type it in and then just drill down on the tournament. And we can take a look at what that lineup actually was. It did leave $900 on the table. That's the year Jason Day won. Scottie Scheffler was a part of it. 5th place. $11,900, 3 7s and a 6. 2 low 7s, 7 flat. One $7,200 golfer. So that actually is a viable build. We'll do that a little bit later with some Scottie lineups. We'll probably go with Scottie at 13,000, drop into an 8K range, and then fill it up with a couple 7s, maybe 3 7s and a 6. And again, just to remind you, you can use the historic salary builds page to really go into the more filters, and we can go ahead and just manipulate this or put as many filters as we want on here. I want to take a look at salaries that are 12,800 and above, like the max salary, and the min salary I want at 6,000, because that's what we have this week. And you can see there's only 2 lineups. Oh, shoot. Actually, let me clear my filters out. I have something. I've drilled down into something. What was it? Oh, no, I cleared the filters. So let's go ahead and do that again. Put in Byron Nelson. Like I had drilled down into something, and that's why it wasn't showing anything. But go back into more filters. 49.6, 12.8, 6,000 for the min. And it's not showing a couple lineups. Why? Oh, because I'm looking at the Byron Nelson. Yeah, we weren't going to see that from the Byron Nelson. Don't put that in. I'm just looking for lineups that are 13,600 or 12,800 and above, where there wasn't a 5K range. It only has happened twice. One is a 10-9, 2 7s, 2 6s, and the other one's a 10-8, 3 7s, and a 6. It's only happened twice. And this would be starting a lineup with Scottie Scheffler right now. So yeah, probably don't do that is my guess. And you can see SweetSpot Optimal got taken out of here because there hasn't been a SweetSpot Optimal. It's just Optimal and GPP winner. So I'll go ahead and clear those filters. So building a lineup with Scottie Scheffler might be a little bit difficult when there's no 5K range. When you use 13,300 and no 5K range, the odds are in your favor to not play Scottie Scheffler this week. That's the long-winded analysis as to should we play Scottie or not, and what were our common salary builds when it came to this event, which when we conclude here, there's a lot of different lineup builds you could do here at this event. There isn't a distinct one that was more so than the other. I mean, again, we can just go into Byron Nelson, and we can take a look at all of the lineups right here. How many references there are. You can drill down into one of these, and again, we had 3 lineups in 1 year, so technically 2 years where that lineup was prevalent. So 10-9-8, 7-7-6, and the other one is a 10-9, 3 7s and a 6, where again there were 1 year that had 2 of those lineups, so really technically 2 references. So yeah, this is actually a week where you could start with a 9K golfer. This is the most I've ever seen a lineup, like one of the 3 lineups, start with a 9K golfer. Yeah. 2018, you had the optimal and the sweet spot optimal. Must have been the same. Yeah, must have been the same. 997766. That's leaving 4,500 on the table. I will never do that. Sweet spot optimal last year 999776. Wow. And that was also your GPP winner, or I mean that was a GPP winner. $999,777, $999,776. Okay, whatever. All this tells us is it's wide open. And again, if you don't think Scottie Scheffler is going to win this tournament, don't play him. Simply put, just don't play him. Gabe says, "Hey, quick pop in. What's up, everyone? You know what? I'm basically done with the pass optimal and GPP winning lineups. I don't think there's really anything else to talk about. So let's do a roll call. Just type in 1, the number 1, if you're going to play Scottie Scheffler this week. Type in the number 0 if you are not going to play Scottie Scheffler. And this is going to be part of the roll call. So this is, if you're not aware, I do roll calls. I try to at the 1 hour mark of the video every single time I do this. And Gabe just reminded me to do it right now. So I'll remove this and put in BYN for Byron Nelson. So 1s or 0s, and this is actually a perfect moment to see if you guys are all caught up with me. If you're not caught up, if you see the chat going, if you saw the chat going 5 minutes ago, putting 0s and 1s in the chat, that means you're not caught up. Hit the live button down there to the left. Drill down on live to make sure you're caught up. There's Jim Lemoyne being a pain in the butt by typing in number, the word number and the word 0 instead of the number. John, AJ Love, who was this week's weekly giveaway winner? What's going on, Trey? Nice to see you. All right, I'll let you guys all come back, and once I see more 0s and 1s in the chat, I will definitely add more to the roll call. But that's what we have for now. All right, I am going to get into, well, let me see. I'll talk. Let me read some of these chats first. Jamie Milne, nice to see you. Mac Hughes getting it done. That could happen. Basing off your model, I say we start in the 9K range, says AJ Love. That's definitely doable. Jim Lemoyne says, miss you, Darbo. Miss you too, man. Trey 12342 or 420. 123 420. Got you. He types in the number 1 and then 0. Couldn't make up your mind, or did peer pressure get to you? It's all good. Okay. We're caught up with chat. I don't have anything else that I need to say. So we're going to go. Actually, technically, we would review the last week's event. I'm not going to. I can just tell you that the Sweet Spot optimal lineup, and of course, you can do this yourself. If you really, truly wanted to, just type in 2025 and then type in Zurich. And you can see what the optimal was versus the Sweet Spot optimal. So go into the optimal lineup. It's a team event. Oh my, I forgot about this. So it was the team of Novak and Griffin with the 2 Højgaard boys, Sappin and Knapp, Lipsky and Wu. Here, let's just do by salaries. This would be easier. Henrik Norlander and Luke List and Carl Phillips and Michael Thorbjornsson. So it's 998776. And this is what I was talking about last week when it was very challenging to make these up, or to go over the bucket system. It's because there were 12 golfers that are technically a part of the optimal lineup, not 6, 12. and they all have their own bucket, nominations to them or values next to them. So how do you do it? It's challenging. It's so challenging. But anyways, so the optimal scored not 96. You would just, okay, you got to divide this by 2. Dang it. That's so annoying. Anyways, it used up $48,000 of the salary. So it left $2,000 on the table, and it scored 842.5 points, I guess. 842.5, it looks like. So either way, GPP, you can see use up all the salary. Again, divide this by 2. So 100,000 divided by 2 is 50. And 1606 divided by 2 is 803. That's easy. 803 was your GPP winning lineup, and your Sweet Spot Optimal scored 1630. If you divide that in half, that's 815. So the Sweet Spot Optimal beat the GPP winning lineup by, what was it? 12 points, 12 and a half points, basically. So again, that follows the whole Sweet Spot process for the Zurich. So if you did follow the buckets and you did follow the Marquee Tee Times, you could have built this lineup that's on the screen. Guess what? It started with Rory McIlroy and Shane Lowry. What were they, the most owned golfers last week? And you actually went 12, 9, 7, 7, 7, low 6K. So anyways, that's your review of the Zurich. That was as fast and quick as it was ever going to be. Okay. It looks like I need to add Lombardi. Lombardi is a little bit behind. Make sure you're live, Lombardi. Make sure you're live. Okay. We're going to get in the bucket system for the Byron Nelson, the CJ Cup Byron Nelson. As always, you can follow me on the cheat sheet. Go to SweetSpotDFS.com. I'll show you. Let's just go there right now together. I'll just pick one of the tabs that I was just currently on. Go here under fantasy tools, go to cheat sheet. This will bring up another page that has the cheat sheet available on it. It'll bring you to something that looks like this. You can either use this cheat sheet, but the one that I'm talking about is you scroll down, click here. That'll bring you to the Google sheet that says SweetSpotDFS cheat sheet. The only way to access it right now is to go to the website. If you ask me if you can get a link from it, I'm going to say go to the website. It's super easy. SweetSpotDFS.com. Anyways, here we go. So the first thing I like to do is give you a clean view of this, of course. And it looks like I got to go 150, which I know is going to be eye straining to some of you guys. But the very first thing to do is put a filter on this, put in the bucket system filter. And what I like to do is go into the minimum projection, go to filter by condition, and we're going to go greater than or equal to 1. Technically, anything that's greater than or equal to 1 tells us we want at least one golfer from this bucket in our lineups. So the reason I go over the buckets is because then you get to use the cheat sheet. The cheat sheet will tell you, obviously the bucket system tells you how many golfers to pick from a bucket, how many golfers to pick from a bucket. So for this last year one, it says 1 to 2. Well, then you go into the cheat sheet, or the dream sheet as I call it, put a filter on that, and then you can sort out whatever bucket you were just looking at. So last year ones, sort by salary just to make sure it's just easier. And then that bucket says pick 1 to 2 golfers from here. And all you can see, I'm going to zoom in for you guys. This is too small. All you can see on the screen, 14 golfers. You want to select 1 to 2 of these guys. There aren't a lot of good names on here, but if you wanted to select one of those guys, perfect. Now, I will say there's a bit of a caveat to this, because this last year one bucket, if you didn't know how to read the bucket system, basically we look at the minimum projection found in column H and the max projection found in column G. We round down with the minimum, so 1.12 rounds down to 1. Maximum goes from 1.87 down or up to 2. So that's why I said 1 to 2. Now there is a rule that I've applied a couple years ago because I see it so often. you want a 2-point buffer. 2-point buffer between the minimum and the maximum. And if you're going to update one of those numbers, obviously 1 to 2 means you've got to either stretch that 2 to a 3 or you got to move that 1 to a 0. The number one rule is we always round the minimum down. So we want the minimum to go to 0. Maximum going up is it's never a good thing. So it's 0 to 2, which means this bucket is no longer an anchor bucket, as I call it, a bucket where you absolutely want one golfer out of. Now, technically, again, it says you want 1 to 2, but we're going to count that as a 0 to 2 bucket. And the easiest way to get rid of these buckets is go into the max projection, and we're going to go filter by condition greater than or equal to 2, and this will filter out anything less than 2. Now, there's also another thing to go with this. Anything that's really close to being less than 2, I just mark it as a 2 for maximum. I mean, I technically make it a 3, but I make the minimum a 0. So tournament history 3, that will go down to a 0. And you can actually use a conservative max projection that I have here in the miscellaneous information. So if I go back to the cheat sheet and I go to the bucket system there, you can find that right here. The same thing I'm looking at, you can do the same. You can look at the same thing. And technically, I don't trust anything that's super close, within 10 points of 2. So like 2.12, I'm probably going to also ignore that one. 2.05, I'll ignore that one. 1.9, I'll ignore that one. And those are the only 3 that I'm probably going to ignore. So strokes gained 2, recent form 3 or 4, and tournament history 3. Those are 3 buckets that I'm not going to really include in the anchor buckets. I guess the best way to do this would also put a condition on here. I know this is a lot of information, but I like to be as transparent as possible to help you find better golfers to build your lineups around. So I'm just going to go greater than or equal to 2.12. Now we get our true anchor buckets, and this is truly saying you want 1 to 2 golfers from one of these buckets. Now, for this video, this is for you guys. Again, you can access this at the cheat sheet. This is the whole purpose of going through it, is to give you basically training wheels on how to use the bucket system to your advantage. For this video, because I don't like it to be super long, I'm not going to go over this bucket, the last year's 6 bucket. It's got 74 golfers in it. I'm not going to do that. What? That's silly. Same goes with like 62, 59. Some of these with 40. I really don't care to talk about some of these. Maybe any of them. Yeah, I don't care to talk about any of them. How about this? I've got 3 buckets to talk about, I guess. Did we not get rid of the strokes gained 2? Oh, I said greater than or equal to. Greater than. Oh, it didn't get rid of it because it's actually a decimal point. Okay, got it. Now this will get rid of it. There's really only 2 buckets to talk about. Tournament history 2. Last week ones. Just to go over what the other buckets are, though. Last year's 6 are golfers who did not play last year. So whoever didn't play last year, Scottie Scheffler, he's a part of that bucket. It says you want somewhere between 2 to 5. It's almost 2 to 6, but 2 to 5. Another bucket we're not going to talk about, last week 5s, golfers who missed the cut at the Zurich. Now, some people have issues with the SweetSpot process. They don't like talking about bad stats because how are bad stats predictive? How can you predict a golfer that just missed the cut? Why would you pick a golfer who's missed the cut? Because they show up inside the top 10 frequently. That's why. If every year tells us we want at least one golfer from this bucket, then find a golfer who missed the cut last week. It's to give you confidence to be like, oh yeah, you know that one golfer who missed the cut? Who cares? If you like that golfer, play that golfer. We might as well just look right now. I am curious. I'm going to clear everything out and go to last week 5s. Now, there are too many golfers in here that I would like to talk about, but if we sort from salaries top to bottom, because that's the other piece to do when looking at the buckets, is actually what golfers are in this bucket worth playing. Maybe they're all bad golfers this year, whereas the previous years they've been good golfers. Well, here we go. This is perfect. Siwoo Kim is in that bucket. So you know how I was talking about to Scottie or not to Scottie? Siwoo was one of those golfers in consideration of like, okay, so what is a replacement that we would do? Like normally, if we're going to build a lineup of Scottie Scheffler at his price tag of $13,300, we probably want to drop down to the 8K range. Honestly, we probably do. Like it's either Scottie, a 9K, completely skip the 8K range and put in two 7Ks and then two 6Ks. That's like the only way to build a lineup of Scottie this week. If you're going to put a 9K golfer in there with Scottie. Otherwise, you got to drop down to the 8K range. And then from there, it goes Scottie at 13.3, skip the 9K range, pick a golfer in the 8K range, then you can pick 3 golfers in the 7K range, but they got to be low priced. You're most likely going to have to even still do 2 7s and 2 6s if you try to do Scottie in 8K range and then go from there. So with that all being said, you still have to keep that in consideration. So if you don't like Scottie Scheffler this week, Siwoo seems like a pretty decent player to put in your lineup, especially if you do like a 9-9 or maybe even 3 9s. I don't know if I really advertise or suggest that, but you could this week. But anyways, 2 9s. I think 2 9s is fine. Eric Cole at $8,100, I like a lot. I actually really like Alex Smalley at $7,900 this week, and Kevin Yu at $78. I'm not going to be shy from playing Matt Wallace or Thorbjorn Olesen, although neither one of them have had really good 2025 campaigns so far. Rico Hoey's down there. He's a good driver of the golf ball. I think this type of course actually fits him. Kurt Kitayama seems a little lost. I don't know if I really care to play him. Like, I'm gonna limit my exposure to maybe like 10% lineups worth building lineups with Kitayama. Actually, it'd probably be 8%. I really don't want to put that many Kitayama lineups in my, or I'm sorry, I don't want to put Kitayama in many of my lineups. So I'm going to limit him at like 8%. Still not afraid to play him, but I'm not really rushing to try to play him. Matt McCarty, probably not at this golf course. He thrives when the greens are large. Although the greens aren't that small. Where are we at? 67. Yeah, that's about average on tour. Maybe a little north of average. No, that's about average on tour. 65, 66 is usually average, I think. So yeah, 67.78, or I'm sorry, not point, but 67.78. Yeah. I still don't care for McCarty. I'm not going to be afraid of playing him, but I'm certainly not pushing to play for him. And then Taylor Moore, he actually, I feel bad for him. He played really good golf, but he had Wyndham Clark. If you watch the Zurich Classic, I talked about Wyndham Clark. I'm like, I don't even know if this guy's serious enough to be on a team. He doesn't seem like a team player. He seems like a little whiny country club boy that just not worth it. Not worth the time, and I'm glad I didn't play much of him. Taylor Moore, though, he did play pretty decent. And he is 17th in the model. So actually, hey, Taylor Moore, sneaky play, 7,500. So I'm not going to go through every golfer. Notable mentions, Aliano Tosti. I think a lot of people are going to like him this week. Velamaki actually played pretty well at the RBC Heritage a couple weeks ago. Worth considering. Don't care. I don't mind playing like a Perez. I don't mind going back to Norgard Moeller, who, bashes the ball off the tee, but I don't know. His game just sucks. But him coming to the PGA Tour has not been a very good transition. I don't know what's going on, but not great. And EVR 6,700. What the hell happened to him? How is he 67? It seems like a misprice. Same kind of goes with Bramlett. I'm going to say this right now, and I'll continue to say it. Never fall in love with a 6K golfer, but never disrespect one. So despite me absolutely hating the golf swing of Taylor Montgomery and thinking that guy, like, good luck to him, he's never winning a PGA Tour event, I still have him in 1 or 2 lineups because I won't disrespect a 6K golfer in the, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but I won't disrespect a 6K golfer in the means of playing him. I'll certainly disrespect his golf swing because it is terrible. It's awful. Awful golf swing. But anyways, that's kind of an example of how to look at these buckets. Check to see which golfers are in this bucket. Regardless of it saying you want to find 1 to 3 golfers from this bucket, go look to see which golfers those are. You know, don't just blindly grab one, although it could work out. It could work out. Either way, I went through this whole long spiel basically to explain how to use the bucket system, go over some of these golfers. Quite frankly, we're basically only going to look at 2 buckets. 2 buckets. And that is, I'm going to go ahead and put a filter less than or equal to 35 for how many golfers are in that bucket this week. And we have last week ones, which are golfers who top 20'd last week, and then good course history. Those are the 2 buckets we're looking at for our anchor buckets. We have 1 to 3 last week ones, and then we have 1 to 4 tournament history 2s or course history 2s. So go into the tab, make sure there are no active filters. Just try to go find if any of these, if there are any filters. You can basically tell if you go through all the tabs and you see a filter highlighted in one of these fields. Otherwise, you just see the 3 little lines. Kind of look like a wireless symbol. So last week ones, that's the first bucket to look at. Last week ones. And these are golfers who top 20 at the event last week. Again, it was a team event last week, so keep that in mind. And if you scroll over, you can kind of see last week. These are the last week stats, their finishing positions, and then other stats that come with it. It was a team event, so I don't care about any of this right here. I really only just care about the finish. And so we have Ben Griffin at 9,200. He won with Andrew Novak last week. I don't mind going back to Ben Griffin. I do think a win for Ben Griffin, especially a team event, and the last round being an alternate shot format, actually plays into the fact that I don't think he's as winded as he would be during a normal event. So I don't think he's as tired coming from the Zurich over here. And it's not even that far of a drive or a flight if he did take a flight. So I don't mind going back to Ben Griffin. Rasmus Højgaard, who finished runner-up behind Griffin and Novak. I don't mind going to Rasmus. In fact, I actually like it because I think, especially for someone like Rasmus, who is his first year on tour as a member, I think that just also opens the door for him just to feel a little bit relieved. I mean, he made a pretty decent paycheck for finishing second with his brother. I don't mind that. And then the rest of the golfers, Gerard, yep, I like him. Bridgman, I like him. Knapp, I like him. The Assassin, Ryo Hisatsune. I know you pronounce it Hisatsune, but if you say it fast enough, it sounds like the Assassin. Nikolai Højgaard, so Rasmus's brother, Nikolai, at 8,200, didn't play that terrible either last week. So I don't mind either one of them. I don't know. I'm not going to get too much into the weeds as to which Højgaard brother you should play. If you want to play either of them, go for it. Sign me up for Thorbjornsen. I'm glad that he bounced back I'm glad he did this team event and got a 4th place finish because he's been kind of struggling over the last 2 months. Isaiah Salinda is great. Carl Phillips is great. Henrik Norlander is great. And then Ricky Castillo. Sign me up. I don't mind any of these guys. Now the bucket again is a 1 to 3, so select 1 to 3. It literally could just be one of these guys, but it could be up to 3. It's up. I mean, just go with your gut feeling. Whoever you think is good, or use stat analysis. One of the 2 things, or a mixture of the 2. I don't think it's I don't think you can go wrong. All right, last one to look at is course history 2s or tournament history 2s. Again, make sure you have no active filters and then go into course history 2, take everything out and just select 2. And we get Scottie Scheffler, number 1. Yeah, it's pretty easy to try to anchor your line. Well, it's an easy thought to anchor your lineups around Scottie Scheffler. I don't know how easy it is based off of his price tag. Jordan Spieth at 10.5. Yeah, I'll take chances there. Siwoo Kim, probably not. I mean, I'm probably going to cap Siwoo's exposure to like 8%, 7%, maybe even 6%. I just don't trust Siwoo Kim. Steven Yeager, I don't mind. I will be playing him. I'll also be playing Tom Cole, Eric Cole, certainly Taylor Moore. I already just mentioned him. I feel bad for him because he had to play with Wyndham Clark, who I just knew wasn't going to take the team event that serious. Now they talked about an injury with Wyndham Clark. I really don't know. Taylor Moore hit it to like 6 feet, and Wyndham Clark goes up there and just looks like he blatantly misses it on purpose. Like, it just, such a bad putt. It didn't even break that much. He looked bad. And I know they mentioned right then and there that he might be battling a wrist injury, but I just think the fact Wyndham Clark just didn't care. Taylor Moore looked like he cared. He was grinding out there and hitting some good shots. So I'm giving the vote of confidence to Taylor Moore this week. Woodland, yeah. Kuchar, meh. Damon, no. Davis Riley, sure. Echeverria, sure. I actually do like Echeverria at a course like this. Cammy Boy Davis, that's fine. And I'm not going to talk about the rest of the guys because they're not worth talking about. But those are the 2 anchor buckets this week. We're going to go over the last thing. I did briefly look at chat here and there. So I think we're just going to go... Actually, no. I need to add one more. Nathan Johnson, you might be a little bit behind, buddy. Make sure you are caught up. So I'll add that, but the roll call for that is gone. So wait for roll call number 2, which should happen in 30 minutes. Okay. We're going to go over the next segment, which are the Marquee Tee Times. And we're going to do that now. So the easiest way to do this, SweetSpotDFS logo just showed up. I don't know why. In the cheat sheet, if you want to follow along with this, and I advise you guys to do this because we're going to build lineups after this, and we're going to use golfers from the Marquee Tee Times. Go to the dream sheet of the cheat sheet. I'm going to zoom in. In column O for group rank, we're going to, first of all, find your filter up here. It's the second to the right tool up here, or drop down, I guess. Find the filter there. I'm going to go back to my sheet and do the exact same thing. And we're going to go sort A to Z. I was going to say Z to A. A to Z. Basically, these are your top groups for the Byron Nelson, the CJ Cup Byron Nelson. And the reason I go over the top groups, these are the top 9 groups based off of the SweetSpot rankings. I basically add up each of the model scores and I rank order them based off of, you know, how quality the golfers are in each of these groups. So the number 1 group this week is Scottie Scheffler, Jordan Spieth, and Siwoo Kim. This is fantastic. I like this. And okay, so going back to why we look at this. I started looking at this at the PGA Championship that Phil Mickelson won. I still can't remember off the top of my head. I always think it's 2021, but it could have been 2022 or maybe 2023. I don't remember which one, but I have over 2 years of analyzing this, and I do it right in front of everybody. Just like how we're going to do this right now, how I've done this in the past, I always go over the Marquee Tee Times, always. And what I've learned is over 90% of the time, you will find 2 to 4 golfers from the Marquee Tee Times in the optimal lineup, which means that's the perfect lineup. It's almost a cheat code. You can just find 2 to 4 golfers. Here's the thing I love about it. It forces you to look at, I mean, the top 9 groups. That's 27 golfers because there are 3 golfers in each of these groups. 27. So we have a pool of 27. Now I'm going to ask you to narrow it down to 2 to 4 golfers So that's not super easy, not super simple. But to make it even easier is you cannot pair up a golfer in the same group, because again, over 90% of the time, your optimal lineup golfers are not paired up together, or the golfers in an optimal lineup are not paired up together Thursday, Friday. And this is like 2+ years that I've analyzed this. And even if we went to the SweetSpot Optimal, which is definitely following those guidelines, you don't see that, and it is picking 2 to 4. So here we are with the top 9 groups. Group 1 is Scottie Scheffler, Jordan Spieth, Siwoo Kim. Group 2 is Sungjae, Pendrith, and Tom Kim. So Sungjae M, Taylor Pendrith, your defending champion. Tom Kim, which is also very interesting, and I'll tell you why. Actually, no, let me go back to why I said I find this fantastic. So the very first question I asked in this stream is, are we playing Scottie Scheffler or not? That is the question. To Scottie or not to Scottie? If not Scottie, what a wonderful natural pivot. Following the SweetSpot process, we either go to Jordan Spieth or Siwoo Kim. And we talked about those 2 golfers as pivots from Scheffler without even getting into the Marquee Tee Times like we're doing right now. So not only were they just natural conversation points to pivot from Scheffler, but they just are in the same group, which makes it really easy to pivot from Scheffler. Now, this could also, by the way, just to throw this out there, give you more confidence to play Scottie Scheffler, because maybe you don't like Jordan Spieth. Maybe you don't like Siwoo Kim. Perfect reason to play Scottie Scheffler. And then if you come down to the next group, why I think this is fantastic here is I don't really care for Taylor Pendrith this week. I am more interested in playing Sungjae M or Tom Kim. Like my dummy lineup, I'm pretty sure I've got Scottie Scheffler and Tom Kim in it. And what a perfect lineup start is to go $10,000 or a $13,000 golfer to an $8,000 golfer. This is what we talked about when we were analyzing Scottie Scheffler. Like if there was a Scottie Scheffler build this week, we went over what those builds look like during pass optimal and GPP winning lineups, and we found out that it's likely $13,300 Scottie Scheffler with someone in the 9K range, and then 2 7s and 2 6s. Or we go from Scottie Scheffler at 13.3 to someone in the 8K range with 3 7K golfers, maybe 2 7Ks, and 1 6K. Or maybe 2 6Ks. So those just seem like natural pivots. In fact, if you wanted to start a lineup with Jordan Spieth and Sungjae M, I think this absolutely could work out this week. So entirely up to you guys how you want to start your lineups, but those are ideas. Group 3 is Benny Ann, Ben Griffin, and Will Zalatoris, which I think is very interesting. I personally don't care to play Benny Ann this week. I will play him, but he's not going to be in a confident lineup of mine. Let's put it that way. Ben Griffin, I do like. I don't mind going to Will Zalatoris. He's a Dallas boy. This is a Dallas event, right at home. I think that's good for someone like Will Zalatoris. Jaeger, Hughes, and Woodland. I'm already kind of out on Woodland. I actually do like Steven Jaeger. And I know someone in chat just kind of, said Mac Hughes gets it done this week. If that's the case, there you go. Mac Hughes, perfect. Don't pair him with Jaeger or Woodland. Maybe pair him up with Jordan Spieth. Maybe pair him up with Sungjae M. That way you go 10-9. Maybe you go grab some in the 8K range, or maybe you grab two other 9Ks, or not 2 other, but 1 other 9K. So like you could do a Ben Griffin. I don't know, Sungjae, Mac Hughes, Will Zalatoris seems like a pretty good start to a lineup. That's definitely plausible. The 5th ranked group, Eric Cole, Alex Smalley, Henrik Norlander. 6th ranked group is Kitayama, Kuchar, Davis. 7th, Gerard Stevens and Byron's boy Aldrich Potgieter. Group 8 is Matt McCarty, Carl Phillips, and Cam Davis. That's a pretty good group. And then it's Sam Burns, Jake Knapp, and Brian Campbell. If it wasn't for Brian Campbell in this group, Burns and Knapp would probably be with someone who's decent, and that would have catapult them up to like group 4 or 5. So that's a sneaky group down there. So now that we went over the Marquee Tee Times, I want you all, whoever wants a lineup built, let's just put it this way. This isn't a part of a roll call or anything, but if you want a lineup built, go ahead and give me 2 to 4 golfers that you saw on the Marquee Tee Times or golfers that I spoke about previously in this video, and we'll build lineups around them. So 2 to 4 golfers from the Marquee Tee Times that you see on the screen. Or follow along, like go find them on the cheat sheet if you want to do it yourself. And actually, I just got reminded that Gabe wants lineups built. So here we go. I will do this first. And again, I will be building lineups on the cheat sheet, which is available to you guys. If you would like to build lineups with the optimizer, request it through the website. It's pretty simple. Just go to SweetSpotDFS.com. There is a drop down up here that says optimizer. Click on that and then follow the steps on that page to request an optimizer. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and put this on the screen. Yeager, Satsune, and Riley. Now, Gabe usually goes to the cheat sheet and finds golfers that are in the Marquee Tee Times. So let's see if he did that correctly this week. Yeager, Satsune, and Riley. Why can't I find this? There he is. Davis Riley. Where you at, bud? 7,200, right? He has a golfer from group 6 and group 4. There we go. Perfect. Way to go, Gabe. Who was on 8 and 9 tee times? You had Matt McCarty, Carl Phillips, Cam Davis, Sam Burns, Jake Knapp, Brian Campbell. Group 8, I should say, was McCarty, Phillips, and Davis. Group 9 was Burns, Knapp, and Brian Campbell. Okay. All right. I put 3 minutes on the clock, and then we go ahead and build lineups until we either hit 10 lineups or we hit the 3-minute mark. This first lineup, I'm going to not do 100% exposure. We're going to build some unique lineups. So here we go. It breaks. Looks like we can't. Right away, just breaks on us. Why? How interesting. I think I have this saved over to the side. Let's see what went wrong. Easy way to figure this out is just make sure the minimum is at 0 and the max is at 6 for the conditionals in the optimizer. And then we paste it back over after it does one lineup and we see where we have our issues. Okay, so right away it's last year ones. We don't want more than 2. Can we stretch that to 3? I'm gonna go ahead and clear all of the filters that I've already put on here. We talked about the anchor buckets, so go ahead and remove the filters. I wish there was an easy button like there is on your Excel spreadsheets. I'm gonna reset this timer, by the way, that's going on the screen. Let's see. Can we stretch this? Ah, it's close. It is close. He must have anchored around these guys last year one. Last year one. No, he did not. Okay. But he's definitely pigeonholed by selecting just those golfers. See, where else can we find some discrepancies here? Oh, and then he's choosing 0. Well, the optimizer chose 0 last year's 6 golfers. I imagine because most of them are expensive and they just don't work out. Maybe I can do something like this. Have 3 6K golfers, I guess. Try to run this one more time. Where else do we see issues though? We don't for course history. We don't for last week, so that's good. Strokes gain, we don't there. Recent form we do here with recent form 2s. So yeah, it looks okay. So Davis Riley has good recent form. So does Rio, and I imagine so does Jaeger. Yeah, that's why. So that's technically the issue right there. So to no fault of Gabe's, he's liking golfers that have decent recent form coming into this event, and recent form 2s. Can we stretch this one? I don't know. We could, maybe we should just for Gabe. Sure. We'll do that for Gabe. So what I am doing, and this is what you guys can do if you have the optimizer yourself, is go into the recent, any bucket, and you can change these numbers. So I'm going to go ahead and change recent form 2 to have a max of 3, where normally we only see 2. And that's going to put most of his golfers in the recent form 2 and 3 bucket, because he's anchoring around 3 of them when this bucket wants 2. So we'll see. We'll see. Put the 3 minutes back on and build some lineups. Okay, yep, we got through some. Okay, cool. So the first lineup is Burns, Jaeger, Hisatsune, Hoey, Celinda, and Davis Riley. That's a fantastic lineup. It's a really, really good lineup. It's really good. And then it breaks. Okay, so even when we update it, it still doesn't like it. Which means, Gabe, I'm sorry, but I'm going to make an audible here. And we are going to change this back to a 2. And I'm going to get rid of Davis Riley. I don't mind Davis Riley, honestly. I think it's a good play. But this is just pigeonholing us a little too much. And frankly, I don't want that many 6K golfers in my lineup. So we're gonna move it back down here. It's an executive decision. Actually, I'll build 4 lineups with Hisatsune, and then I'll switch it to Riley from Jaeger. Or not from Jaeger, but Jaeger will be in both of them. This is a great lineup. Jaeger, Højgaard, Hisatsune, Yu, Eckroat, and Sam Stevens. I love that lineup. That's really good. And then it breaks, but that's probably because of exposures. So let's go ahead and change that. Switch it all to 100% and run it again. Burns, Jaeger, Hisatsune, Cole, Sam Stevens, and Johnny Vegas. Johnny Vegas, his model has been so good at all these golf courses over the last couple of months. I think it has to do with a little bit of his performances from last year, which aren't reliable. This lineup's fine. Burns, Yeager, Hisatsune, Hall, Stevens, Hoffman. Sure. Then we get Burns, Yeager, Kim, Hisatsune, Lauer, EVR. EVR might be not as reliable also, but at least we're only playing him in one lineup. This was a good one too. Burns, Yeager, Hisatsune, Harry Hall, Isaiah Salinda, and Victor Perez. Sure. I'll do one more, and then I'll switch from Hisatsune to Davis Riley. This one switches out Joel Damon. I don't want Joel Damon in my lineups. Maybe you do, but I don't. This one's fine. Burns, Yeager, Hisatsune, Stevens, Kitayama, and Lauer. That's okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and remove him and bring back Davis Riley. So I'm kicking out Hisatsune and we're bringing in Riley. This should give us a little different lineups. And sure enough, Scottie Scheffler to Steven Yeager. Riley, Perez, Meisner, and David Lipsky. 10-9, 2 7s, 2 6s. What did we talk about with the historical salaries with the pass optimal and GPP winning lineups? There we go. Very much the same here as well. But these are good names. Scheffler, Yeager, Riley, Davis, Schenk, and William Mao. Now we get rid of Scheffler and we go to Siwoo Kim, Yeager, Tom Kim. So we get the 2 Kims. Højgaard, Riley, and Perez. I like that. I like that a lot. 9-9, 8-8, 7-7. And then we go back to Scottie Scheffler with the big rig. So Scheffler, Yeager, Riley, Cam Davis, Chandler Phillips, and the big rig. I'm going to say no to that. I have no confidence in Harry Higgs. Hayden Buckley. Sure. Why not? Maybe he's got good feelings at this golf course. Scheffler, Yeager, Riley, Perez, Pearson, Cootie, Hayden Buckley. That one's pretty solid. Okay. So we went over a little bit for our 3-minute mark, but that's because of the exposures that we needed to update. Okay. Those were lineups for Gabe. Let's take a look at the chat and see which one is next. AJ Love. He wants Ben Griffin and Ryan Gerard. Benjamin. That is a $9,200 golfer and an $8,600 golfer. Here we go. We go Pendrith, Griffin, Gerard, Harry Hall, and Taylor Moore, Johnny Vegas. I don't think so. I don't think so. Johnny Vegas is going to continue to show up. I don't want him. I also don't want Charlie Hoffman. This one's fine. We'll put one Joel Damon lineup in. Pendrith, Griffin, Gerard, Hall, Damon, Perez. Next one is Pendrith, Griffin, Gerard, Harry Hall, Taylor Moore, Max McGreevy. Do you like Harry Hall, AJ? Because he's going to show up a lot, looks like. And this lineup is fantastic. Oh, Harry Hall got kicked. Pendrith, Griffin, Gerard, Taylor Moore, Isaiah Salinda, and Nicholas Echeverria. Sign me up. I do like Echeverria. That seems like a really good lineup. Pendrith, Griffin, Gerard, Kitayama, Moore, and Lauer. Good reason to get on Kitayama. Let's see if we keep getting more Taylor Pendrith. If so, do you want me to kick him out? Yep. You get another one. Pendrith, Griffin, Gerard, Harry Hall, Taylor Moore, Henrik Norlander. I do like Norlander this week. I think a lot of people are going to, but he's a good fit for this golf course, and he's been playing pretty decent recently. He's been playing decently recently. But you have a decision, AJ. How much more Taylor Pendrith do you want? How much Harry Hall do you want? Yeager, Griffin, Kim, Gerard, Perez, and Fishburne. I can go back to Fishburne, although he kind of burned me a couple times. Kick Pendrith. Okay. Jordan Spieth, Griffin, Gerard, Taylor Moore, Perez, Justin Lauer. Okay, sure. Lots of Perez this night or tonight so far. I don't mind it. And Justin Lauer, which, you know, last year and even the year before that for Rainmakers, Lauer was a pretty decent play. I didn't mind it. He hasn't been that great this year, but he might be turning it around. This would be the time that he actually plays decent. So this will be the last Lauer lineup. If I see him again, I'll just kick him out. And I don't have to kick him out. But now we get a Sungjae lineup. Sungjae, Ben Griffin, Gerard, Harry Hall, Taylor Moore, Mark Hubbard. Don't hate that lineup. And then we get a Sungjae M, Griffin, Gerard, Moore, Chan Kim, and Justin Lauer. Oh yeah, we're kicking Justin Lauer out. It's a lot of Justin Lauer. Try it again. Beautiful. Spieth, Griffin, Gerard, Taylor Moore, Echeverria, and Matty Schmidt. I like that lineup a lot. You know what? We'll give you some music for that one. By the way, at the Zurich Classic, I looked at the lineups that we built. Nobody. Oh, no, not the Zurich. I'm sorry. I went to the RBC Heritage because that was the one I had to delete in order to make this one a new one. Nobody selected Justin Thomas in their lineups. Everybody was on Colin Morikawa that week. So I get the hint that some of you guys are game theory bros out there that don't want a high-owned golfer that's a better fit than the Mora Flower guy. What's going on, Wheels Up? All right, Trey, are you in the chat? Trey wants Knapp, Griffin, Gerard, and M. He's going 4 deep. We rarely get 4 deep. I appreciate it. In the Zurich, I literally lost 100% investment. Ouch, dude, Phil, that sucks, man. Oh, that sucks. Wheels Up, you certainly can. All right, Trey is here. I'm trying to get Trey's. Okay, Knapp, Griffin, Gerard. Knapp, get Griffin, Gerard, and then Sung. Oh no, yeah. Do I have 4? No. Need Knapp. I need Mr. Knapp. Four Marquee Tee Time guys. Woo, this is gonna be spicy. Here we go. I'm looking for a 6K metric score. I don't know what you mean by that. Sungjae, Ben Griffin, Gerard, Knapp, Charlie Hoffman, and Carson Young. Okay, I've seen worse. Antoine. Okay, Charlie Hoffman can go. Yeah, Charlie Hoffman. I don't think so, pal. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? We're going to go ahead and put 50% or 30. Let's go 33% on these 7K golfers. I don't want that many 7K. I should say I don't want that many, but I just don't want these guys piling up. All right. Patton Kizzire doesn't play bad in Texas. Sungjae M, Griffin, Gerard, Knapp, Chan Kim, Pat Kizzire. I like it. Sungjae M, Griffin, Gerard, Knapp, Damon, and Ben Silverman. AJ, I'll talk to you after this. I build lineups here. Sungjae, Griffin, Gerard, Knapp, Hoey, and Trevor Cohn. Okay. All right. I don't hate it. M, Griffin, Gerard, Knapp, Damon, and Griffin. Lonto Griffin. Lonto has won here in Texas before. Ooh, Thomas Rosenmuller. Sign me up. Guy hits it a country mile. We're going to get rid of Damon. Damon's fine, but I think he's a loser, and I don't like putting a lot of losers in my lineups. Sungjae Griffin, Gerard Knapp, Taylor Moore, and Scott Gachewski. Probably Gashevsky. Let's not. Although, he, 2 years ago, that would have been okay. Not this. I'll do Noah Kent. Noah Kent and Isaiah Salinda. I think they were up in the top of the leaderboard for a while. Aaron Baddeley, I don't think so, pal. Oh, we're forcing a 7K golfer in here. That's why this is all happening this way. I have to change that. The 33% rule for 7Ks is getting in the way. This one's fine. Sungjae, Ben Griffin, Gerard Knapp, Bramlett, and Bean Martin. And then it breaks. Let's go ahead and... Okay, I'm going to remove Gerard from the mix. And then I'm going to force a 7K. I think this is just going to provide better lineups for you. For the last two. Dealer's choice. But we're not going to go with Johnny Vegas. Johnny Vegas has such a good score. Where are you at? Sungjae M, Ben Griffin, Jake Knapp, Taylor Moore, and Isaiah Cylinder and Victor Perez. That's actually really good. I like that lineup. And one last one. Okay. Sungjae M, Griffin Knapp, Rico Hoey, Gary Woodland, and Victor Perez. That one's fine. Ended it with 2 Victor Perez lineups, though. Let's see if I can get one different one that doesn't say Victor Perez. And we get Chan Kim with Lee Hodges. Sungjae M, Ben Griffin, Knapp, Lee Hodges, Woodland, and Chan Kim. Okay, that's fine. So AJ says metric. So he says, you see the metric. Yep, see the metric. I'm looking for a 6K metric score. For who? For who? Anyways. All right, those were lineups for Trey. Tim Tulos, are you in the chat? More Gerard. People loving Gerard this week. You want Scottie, Brian Gerard, and Henrik Norlander. Okay. I'm talking about the total on the optimizer for lineups built. Talking about the total on the optimizer for lineups built. You talking about this over here? Tim says, here, let's go. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, AJ. Talking about the total on the optimizer for lineups built. Does anyone else understand me? Metric. I don't know. All right, so Scottie, Gerard, and Norlander, and Tim is ready, so we're gonna go ahead. Yes, the total points right there. Well, I was there. If you need to screenshot, like pause the video and screenshot if you can, or take a picture on your phone. All right, here we go. Or later, I can do whatever you need. Scheffler, Gerard, Norlander, Lauer, Fishburne, and Vegas. Let's just get rid of Vegas. I'm gonna get rid of this lineup. Scheffler, Gerard, Norlander, Perez, Lau. Oh, 371. Okay. I am superstitious with 2 of the same price tag, but 3? No way. No way. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and kick Perez out. Scheffler, Gerard, Taylor Moore, Norlander, Fishburne, and Manicero. Okay. It's not terrible. 10-8, 3 7s, and a 6. Scheffler, Gerard, Echeverria, Norlander, Lauer, and Ben Coles. I like that one too. I'm going to go ahead and kick Lauer out. Tim, if you disagree, let me know. Just be like, no, I'll put Lauer back in, and I'll put Lauer back in. We get Scheffler, Gerard, Echeverria, Norlander, Charlie Hoffman, and Chandler Phillips. Sure, and I'm going to kick Hoffman out because Hoffman... Yeah, I mean, Hoffman's been so good in these models because of all of his course history where he's, you know, at courses he's good at. Oh, Johnny Vegas. I thought we did enough. Scheffler, Gerard, Davis, Norlander, Fishburne, and Johnny Vegas. Nah. How? Where's Vegas? Oh, I suppose we're on lineup 34. That's why. Unbelievable. Where? Oh my God. Scheffler, Gerard, Echeverria, Davis, Norlander, and EVR. Sure. Not terrible. Scheffler, Gerard, Cam Davis, Norlander, Fishburne, and McGreevy. Sign me up. Scheffler, Gerard, Echeverria, Davis, Norlander, and Mark Hubbard. No issues there. And then we switch out the last one with Carson Young. That's fine. Scheffler, Gerard, Echeverria, Norlander, Bo Hosler, and Mac Meisner. Actually, I like that lineup a lot. Dumpy Bo. I guess I don't mind him at 7K. And this is a good lineup too. Very good. Scheffler, Gerard, Woodland, Norlander, Fishburne, Adam Schenk, and just one more for the road. I just want to see what this one is going to be. We get Andrew Putnam in there, so that's not terrible. Scheffler, Gerard, Davis, Norlander, Fishburne, and Putnam. That one's not bad. I don't even know what I'd save it over. Probably the Charlie Hoffman lineup. All right, Tim. Those were your lineups. Did you see the mustache man with his shirt off in the water? I was waiting for a gator to pop up. I did not. I didn't watch much of the Zurich. I did see bits and pieces, but I didn't watch a lot. Okay. Next person up, Nathan Johnson. He wants Siwoo Kim and Sung J M. He wants the M brothers. The M keepers. Did I say Sung J Kim? I don't think so. I said Sung J M. For whatever reason, I thought that was the same last name. It is not. But it's close. Sung J M, Siwoo Kim. There we go. All right, Nathan, let me know when you are ready. Tim, you're welcome. Mustache Man has no body hair, just his all of it went right to his mustache, huh? That's pretty good. Good for him. I guess I'd grow it out too if that was the only body hair that I could grow. Bill Lauer puts his lineups in. Okay, we can get there. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and start building. I hope you get in the chat, Nathan. Timer's on the board. Sungjae, Siwoo, Harry Hall, Stevens, Taylor Moore, and Justin Lauer, who is getting the boot. That's fine. 1098, 777. 2 9s here, 1099. Siwoo, Sungjae, Ben Griffin, Echeverria, Davis, and Victor Perez. Okay. Don't hate it. Sungjae, Siwoo, the Assassin. Oh my gosh, is that the first? I mean, we locked him in, but this is the first time I think the Assassin got picked. Harry Hall, Echeverria, Victor Perez. Had to do it again. Sungjae, Siwoo, Gerard, Moore, Kuchar, and Echeverria. Kuchar. First time seeing Kuchar. That's fine. Sure, why not? Scheffler is going to be hard to build around this week. I agree, man. I agree. Sungjae, Siwoo, Gerard, Taylor Moore, Damon, and Echeverria. Yeah, you know, part of why I like building lineups for you guys is just seeing how the optimizer, you know, works with certain combos, and like you get a feeling as to what ideas work and which ideas don't. And I won't lie, Tim, I obviously am going to start building. I'm going to build Scheffler lineups myself, and they're probably going to go 10-9, 2-7s, 2-6s, or 10-8, 2-7s, 2-6s. I don't like that. I didn't like building those lineups. I don't like having 3 guys or 4 guys really being like 71, 71, 7,000, and 6,900. I don't personally like that, but of course, because I'm building lineups for everybody, there are some exposures that are getting affected, so it's not pulling in a lot of the 6K golfers. So, you know, we can manipulate that. I didn't do that with yours just because there's a limited amount of time, but yeah, the 10-9, 3 7s, and a 6 didn't really vibe well for me, which is fine. It doesn't have to. I don't win all the time, and I only win. I shouldn't say all the time. I don't win the majority of the time. So who's to say I know what's best and what's not? Sorry, Nathan. Here we go. Sungjae M, Siwoo Kim, Harry Hall, Stevens, Moore, and Celinda. Harry Hall is going to be one of those golfers that the optimizer picks a lot that I'm not going to want to play at all, and he's probably going to do well. Sungjae, Siwoo, Harry Hall, Stevens, Thorbjornsen, Woodland. Okay, it's going to be probably the last Woodland lineup. If he shows up again, I'm kicking him out. Sungjae, Siwoo, the Assassin, Sam Stevens, Hodges, and Echeverria. I like that lineup a lot. 10, 9, 8, and 3 7s. That's pretty good. Pretty solid. Siwoo, Sungjae, Gerard, Woodland, Echeverria, and Hosler. That's a pretty good lineup. You know what? We'll do one of these guys. I'm probably getting copyright just for playing it that long. The last lineup is Sungjae, Siwoo, Gerard, Hoey, Echeverria, and Vince Whaley. Yeah, I'm pretty cool with that lineup. That one's pretty good. All right, Nathan, those are your lineups. Let's clear this off. Tim goes, yeah, I wanted to see what they look like. Yeah. Yeah, nothing that spoke to me. Let's put it that way. Nothing that was singing like, hey, this is going to be the one. We want this one. Okay. How about this? We are at the 2-hour mark. Let's do another roll call. Let's just type in that. For those that are members, if you want to put your emojis in, that works also. Whatever emoji you want, type in SweetSpotDFS. This is roll call number 2. Roll call number 2. John, I was looking for like the SweetSpot DFS emojis. That's okay. John doesn't know. All right, I'll wait for some of you guys. Again, if you were just coming across this and you saw all of the chat and stuff cruise on by you minutes ago, 5, 10, 15 minutes ago, you need to catch up. Hit the live button and get your butt up here because you're too far behind. Didn't know you had to hit the smiley? There you go. You learn something new every day. Yeah, chat looks like it looks more fun when there's more color in there. Now you know. Now you know. And then if you want to get back to your keyboard, you hit the smiley again. And then that'll bring you to your keyboard. Just so you know. Okay. Back to the lineups. Yes, smash the like button. I just saw we had, oh, now it's 8 likes, but we just had 7, which means we're not going to get to 25 likes. It's just not going to happen, which means we're not giving away 5 memberships. Come on now. Come on now. All right. We are on Lombardi Lee, and he wants Svensson, Ryder, and Vince Whaley. Leave it to Mr. Lombardi Lee to pick us golfers that are out of the box. Okay. We're going to put that timer on the screen. Here we go, Lombardi. He is here. All right, so we get Sungjae Siwoo, Ryan Gerard, of all people, to go with Svensson, Ryder, and Whaley. I'm going to kick out Ryan Gerard for now. Next one is Scottie Scheffler. Scott Scheffler. Tommy Boy Kim. I actually like that duo. If I'm building Scott Scheffler lineups, I actually don't mind it with Tom Kim. And then we add Taylor Dixon, which I think he just finished second. He would finish top 10 from the Zurich with his partner. I don't mind Taylor Dixon. Spieth, Pendrith, Nikolai Højgaard, 1098, 777. I like it. Pretty good. I have to kick someone out, and I think it's going to be Pendrith. I might bring back Pendrith, but let's just kick him out for now. Scheffler, Tommy Boy Kim, Svensson, Ryder, Whaley, and Kevin Velo. Sign me up. That is I do like Velo. We gotta do this one. We gotta do this one for that lineup that just was on. Got to. Cristobal del Solar. Guess what? The GPP winning lineup had his partner in the lineup for the Zurich. I can't remember who he played with. Was it Isaiah? No, it was not Isaiah. Man, I can't remember. But yeah, he was. It's a good lineup. I like it. Stone 6. And then it breaks. Let's bring back some of the guys we kicked out, like Taylor Pendrith. We probably got to kick out like Siwoo Kim or something, right? Nikolai Højgaard. We'll kick out Højgaard and see if we can get something different. Nope, it breaks that way too. Try it again. Kim Gerard. Yeah. We already did that one. Let's get rid of Siwoo. Okay. Scheffler, Gerard, Svensson, Ryder, Whaley, and Harry Higgs. Yeah, it's all right. It's okay. Velo sounds like an Italian coffee. It might be. Tom Viting with Scheffler, Gerard, Svensson, Ryder. Okay. I mean, we got 2 Swedes. Maybe this is the tournament the Swedes do well. Tim Viting and whatever. Jesper Svensson. Spieth, Penrith. Okay, we did this one. Why are you giving me the same one, dude? Trying to get 3 more lineups despite the time's up. Scheffler, Gerard, Svensson, Ryder, Whaley, and Will Gordon. Sign me up. I like that lineup. It's a pretty good lineup. I actually don't mind this 10-8, 3 7s, and a 6. Scott Gachewski, I don't think so. And then it breaks. Okay. I'm going to do you a service here, Mr. Lombardi Lee, and we're going to get rid of Vince Whaley. I don't think that's the play this week. Benny Ann, Penrith, Gerard, Svensson, Ryder, and Justin Lauer. Let's do that one, but kick out Lauer. Yeah, this one's good too. Benny Ann, Taylor Penrith, Gerard, Svensson, Echeverria. I'm going to do one more and not have Taylor Penrith. I just have a feeling this week it's not a Penrith week. Just a feeling. And then we get Sungjae, Ben Griffin, Gerard, Svensson, Joel Dame. Sure, let's do that. That one's better. That one I like more than the last one. All right, those were lineups for Mr. Lombardi Lee. All right, getting to the next one, we have Aldrich, an Aldrich lineup. Aldrich Pot Eater. All right, Mr. Bizzle. Are you ready? Let me know when you're ready. Just trying to see how many more lineups we got. I think I have Wheels Up and Phil Lauer still left. Yeah, Wheels Up and then Phil Lauer after this one. I like the Scheffler-Gerard combo. I do too. That was pretty good. You are welcome, Lombardi. Gerard, Apot, Toasty, and Valimaki. Okay. Gerard, easily the most owned golfer that people are building their lineups around. And even the optimizer just likes him as well. Like, just goes hand in hand. Right. I don't know where a lot of these guys are, so let's go like this. Toasty. Pot heater, as our boy Byron would say. Heater and Valimaki. All right, two $7,300 golfers. Duly noted. A lineup of 4 dudes. John says he's ready. Perfect. Timer's on the screen. Let's do this. Lego. It breaks. 4 dudes. Which one would you like taken out? I don't think I'm really going to try to make this one work out. Pretty strict. Which one do you want kicked out, John? Again, it's Gerard, Potgieter, Toasty, and Valimaki. My vote would be Valimaki. But a close second would probably be Gerard. There's a lot of Gerard lineups, but if you do like Gerard more than the other 3, then keep him. Valimaki? Okay. Sami Valimaki. Okay, timer back up on the screen. Let's do this. And it breaks again. Why is it breaking? What? Okay, hold on. Hold the phone. We have a group 7. Kosie's not in a group. Oh. Two guys in group 7. That's why it broke. All right. We're going to kick out Gerard. This is an executive decision. It's like, what the heck? How could it break again? Scottie Scheffler, Nikolai Højgaard, Toasty Valimaki, Lauer, and Potgieter. That is a hell of a lineup. I'm gonna get rid of Lauer. That's too much Lauer. Scottie Scheffler, Eric Cole. Look at these 10-8, or well, 13-8. Toasty Valimaki, Carl Phillips. Ooh, dude, these are okay. Talk about some Scottie Scheffler lineups that I can get behind. I do have to kick someone out, and I think it's probably gonna be Phillips. It's a hard decision, but yeah, I think it has to be Phillips. Yeah, John, if you want a different combo, let me know, and we can change on the fly. Sungjae, Siwoo, Ben Griffin, Toasty Valimaki, and Potgieter. Let's get rid of Siwoo. I'm just gonna use what I feel to be right. And I don't have a good feeling about Siwoo this week, so we're gonna kick him out. Oh, we get the assassin. Another 8K golfer. Scottie Scheffler, the assassin, in the number 2 position. Toasty Valimaki, Old Man Zach Johnson, and Aldrich Potgieter. Old Man Zach Johnson is not someone I care too much to play, but I don't even know if he can be in the optimal lineup if I'm thinking about it. But this one's great. We get Scheffler, Toasty Valimaki, Chris got her up, and then Aldrich Potgieter. I like that one. Kick Zach. He's been kicked. Scheffler, the assassin, Toasty Valimaki, Adam Svensson. Yeah, sign me up, dude. I don't mind playing Adam Svensson this week. We got to give Potgieter a little bit of a boost. I don't want to keep coming down here and having to kick him or update this. So we'll run it twice. What? Why is it not choosing a no? Oh, Valimaki and Svensson are tied for the lowest now. I still have to come down here and change it. Jeez. Stupid. I'll build you 4 more, although the time's up. Scheffler, the assassin, Toasty Valimaki, Jeremy Paul, and then Potgieter. That one's fine. Yeah, hey man, I think these are some good Scheffler 8K golfers. McGreevy, sign me up. I'll do one non-Scottie lineup coming up here. Hey, Danny Walker's not a bad play. I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. All right, let's see one more and then I'll kick out Scottie. Ricky Castillo, sign me up. 10-8, 3 7s, and a 6. There you go. That was, oh, yes. That lineup. We like it. Let's do a non-Scottie, just one. Probably break it, honestly. See. Called it. All right, that was pretty cool. Scottie, definitely the guy to put in your lineups. I have to kick out Hoffman and Vegas because I don't want to see those guys. And old man Zach Johnson. And let's change pot. You know what? We'll give him a 100-point boost because I do want to see some more pot geeter. Okay. We are on to Wheels Up, who likes Kaito Onishi, Scottie, and Im. It's a shame that Suber's not playing this week. I actually don't know that for certain. Jackson Suber is playing. Oh, Wheels Up. Did we have a little falling out with Jackson Suber? The rated R Superstar. Scottie. Im. Oh my god, look at this guy. Look at this guy. He's doing what no man thought to do ever before. Kaito Nishi. You know, if you want to pronounce people's names correctly, try to say it in the accent that the person speaks. I have no idea if that's how, if Kaito is even Japanese, Chinese, or Korean, but if I make it sound like a samurai, I bet you I say it correctly. Kaito Nishi. Ryo Asasune. Isatsune. Wheels Up. We might be on a break. All right. I got your players loaded up. Are you ready, sir? Take some water. Waiting for your reply. All right, I'm just going to do it. I think you're ready. We're ready. First lineup. Scheffler, Im, Lauer, Fishburne, Luke Lintlicker List, and Kaito Onishi. Kaito Onishi. Whoa. Matteo Manassero. Did he actually? He played. That was who was in the GPP winning lineup last week. It was Manassero and Cristobal. They were playing together, I believe. Scheffler, Im, Lauer. Maybe Cristobal was playing with Hoey. Scheffler, Im, Lauer, Gotterup, Matteo Manassero, Kaito Onishi. Scheffler, Im, Fishburne, Hosler, Walker, the Day Walker, Danny Walker, and Kaito Onishi. I'm just going to continue to say it that way. Kaito. Scottie Scheffler, Sung Jae, Lau. Okay, hold on. Just wait. I don't want to waste a good Rosenmuller lineup on that. We are kicking out Lauer and Fishburne. Is Fishburne a Dallas guy, by the way? Maybe Fishburne actually is a good play. Oh, Trey with the Højgaard brothers and Scheffler. I don't think that's possible. Could. Yuck. Not a list guy. You know, building lineups last week for the Zurich, I came across Luke List and I was like, not terrible. And he ends up being the optimal lineup. So, not terrible. Scheffler, Im, Fishburne, Gotterup, Adam Schenk, and Kaito Onishi. He might be the new assassin. Nah, he's the samurai, Kaito. Chef, you got the ninja in Hisatsune, and you got the samurai in Onishi. Scheffler, M, Fishburne, Goddard. Yeah, there's another Fishburne. Ben Coles, which I'm cool with that. Ben Coles is great. You're gonna kick out Fishburne if I see him again, and we don't. This is oh, okay. If we want a skill set lineup, here we go. You got Rosenmuller, who mashes it off the tee. We got Hayden Springer, who mashes it off the tee. Cam Davis, who mashes it off the tee. And then we got Kaito Onishi. I like it. I actually really like that lineup a lot. And I like this one a lot too. I need to kick out Fishburne, but Scheffler, M, Norlander, Fishburne, Mao, and Onishi, I love it. Two more after this one. Oh, Nasty Nate. We get Scheffler, M, Victor Perez, Goddard, Lash. Let's kick out Goddard too. That's too much Goddard. Oh, I didn't save it. Oh well. Lonto Griffin. Okay, I can live with it. And we get Cam Davis, Ricky Castillo. Absolutely. Sign me up. Ricky Castillo is a good play in the 7K range. I like it. I'm sorry, I just puked in my mouth. I just saw Taylor Montgomery on the screen. Scheffler, M, Davis, Castillo, Montgomery, and Kaito Onishi. But you know what? I want to put in the rated R superstar. It's got to happen. We got to see this thing through, man. I'm playing something like that Davis lineup. Gotcha. Oh no, Suber breaks it. What if I take out him? What do we get? If we get Hisatsune? Nah, we don't. Just breaks. This is the week not to play Suber, apparently. Okay. Duly noted, Optimizer. Duly noted. Got it. Optimizer doesn't want us to do it. We ain't doing it. Ooh, Bean Martin. Let's not do a Bean Martin lineup. Whatever happened to that guy? Just got bad at golf. Ooh, we like this one. We saved the best for last. Scheffler, M, Davis, Castillo, Nick, part of the Hardy Boys, and Kaito Onishi. Yeah, we're doing it, man. Doing it. B-E-A beautiful. I'm gonna leave some of these as no's down here. You know what? Actually, I want to do this for myself. We're gonna go ahead and put Kaito in and Rio. I want an assassin, a ninja in my lineup, and I want a samurai. And it didn't disappoint. Thank you for getting me on Kaito Onishi. That is my lineup. That's my lineup. Scheffler, Hisatsune, Sam Stevens, Isaiah Salinda, Echeverria, and Kaito Onishi. That's my lineup, dude. I'm putting it somewhere. I'm not telling you where. Didn't have to give me a reason. What's my dummy lineup? Do I have is that Salinda? I forget. Yeah, is Salinda in my dummy lineup? If he is, that's the lineup that we need. Here's the dummy lineup, folks. Just to show you that I'm not blowing smoke. Salinda, look at that. Look at that. Scheffler, Hisatsune, Salinda, Toasty, Castillo, and Adam Schenk. That's just the dummy lineup. That was the first look. That's a first look lineup. Scheffler, Hisatsune, Stevens, Echeverria, and Onishi. Those are the only dudes. Or wait, was that? Yeah, those are the only dudes. But I had Salinda, Hisatsune, and Scottie. Those were my core. We're feeling good. We're feeling good having the samurai and the ninja in our lineup. I have to create something for that now. Like a soundboard. Cool. I remember Hodges plays well in Texas. Okay. I don't know that. All right. Phil Lauer. Last lineup built for the night. And I am going to call it a night after this lineup. I'm getting tired. Unless there's someone brand new in the chat that wants a lineup built. I will certainly do that for you. Alrighty. We have Cam Davis, Ben Griffin, and David Skins? Phil Lauer. Phil Lauer. What is getting us on David Skins? I need to know. I need to know what you know. What do you know about David Skins this week? Cammy Boy Davis. Cammy Boy Davis and David Skins. Just flat out 6, huh? Right? Wasn't he? Or am I wrong? I am wrong. Oh, Kevin Kisner's in the field? I didn't know that. All right. We gotta look him up. David Skins. You know what I'm gonna do for the ninja or the ninja samurai combo? We're gonna do this. We're gonna go Aito Onishi. Skins has great course history. Good. You are welcome. Wheels up. Rest is definitely important. Phil, are you in chat? Let me give you a couple seconds here. Couple of seconds to respond back.
Oh, you gotta get them that hot tour and spit on that thing. You get me?
Maybe I am insane. Maybe I am insane. And maybe it's time for you to find out how insane I am. Yeah. You know that I'm the cream of the crop. I think that your time is done. And I think that the spotlight should go on top of me. Yeah.
Okay. I don't think Phil is in the chat. If he is, he might be a little bit behind. So we're going to go ahead and move on. I'll build lineups for him, but here we go. He wanted Davis, Ben Griffin, and David Skins. And we go Scheffler, Ben Griffin, Damon, Davis, EVR, and Skins. Oh, I should update that. Yeah, that's fine. Pick out, what's his name? Damon. Damon's fine in like 4% of your lineups. I don't really care to play him any other time. Scheffler, Griffin, Davis, Victor Perez, Meisner, and Skins. Yep, works for me. Oh, no, I need to get Mac Meisner out of there. Actually, never mind. I don't. Scheffler, Griffin, Davis, Perez, Hubbard, and David Skins. This one's fine too. I actually don't mind this. Scheffler, Griffin, Davis, Perez, Victor Perez, Jeremy Paul, and David Skins. But I think I'm gonna kick out Victor Perez. Build 5 more or 6 more. Sungjae, Siwoo, Ben Griffin, Taylor Moore, Cam Davis, and David Skins. That's a really good lineup. I like that lineup a lot. And I need to kick someone out. I'm going to kick out Siwoo. Siwoo kind of does remind me a little bit of Jason Day this week. Like Jason Day from 2023, where it's just, he's an afterthought. Has played well. Actually, I don't know. I'll have to, hold on. Jordan Spieth, Ben Griffin, Mac Hughes, Taylor Moore. Okay, that's a really good lineup, actually. Good lineup. A good Jordan Spieth lineup. I need to kick someone out. Let's kick out Bean Griffin. Oh, no. That's who he wants. Let's do Mac Hughes. Don't necessarily see a 10-9-9 having a lot of success in most events. Scheffler, Griffin, Doug Gim, Cam Davis, Carson Young, and David Skins. Interesting. Very interesting. Don't mind it. Jordo, Griffin, the Assassin, Eric Cole, Cam Davis, and then that's a really good lineup. 10-9, 2. Yeah, you know what? That's fine. 10-9, 2-8s, and 7-6. That's fine. All right, let's kick out. Let's kick out the Assassin. It's a lot of Hisatsune love for the night. Let's move on. Scheffler, Griffin, Gim, Cam Davis, Chandler the Mustache Man Phillips, David Skins. Okay. And the last one. Jordo, Steven Yeager, Ben Griffin, Taylor Moore, Cam Davis, and David Skins. That's actually pretty decent. I do not hate that lineup. Okay. I'm going to finish the video talking about updates with the website. So, I have been mentioning that I'm going to add more filters to the website. Again, if you didn't know, if you go into the website and you click on more filters, nothing shows up. Nothing is in the filter box here. These are obviously all filters. And to be quite honest, a lot of this is good enough for you guys to do research, but it is my, promise, my goal is to have as many filters in here as I tell you to look up for researching purposes. So when you start at the golf course and we're looking at yardage, I want to apply yardage as a filter. Under par, I want to apply par as a filter. Why, our architect, that kind of stuff. Turf grass is the main one. Like, turf grass to me is one of the most important stats to filter by. And here's the thing. I'm going to go ahead and open up basically the spreadsheet that runs the database. I mean, most databases are built off of Excel spreadsheets and then they're imported into another tool. So I'm going to just show you what this looks like. There's a lot of data in it, so it's taking a little while to open up. This is what I've just accumulated, throughout the years, basically, of all the stats that matter to me. So I'm going to go all the way over to golf course. And you guys aren't going to be able to see it on the screen down here. But one of my tabs is called golf course. Now I can zoom in and basically, I mean, AJ Love has been here with me before. So too has Lombardi Lee when I go over, the website stuff that I talked about before. But I'll even zoom in even further. Get out of the way. And can you just not do that? Okay. So it starts, the end column is DU, actually, DU. The first column starts in A. And you've got all the identifiers that come with this. I've got my sort by ID, because if you didn't know how to put it in a database, you do want an ID that you can sort by, that's unique, and that can connect to other IDs to sort by. Then we have our tournament ID, which is just a unique identifier that I can link anything to the tournament ID. And there's a lot of tables that use that. Course ID is not a big deal. Year's pretty good. Season's pretty good. But then golf course. Okay. You know, for the RSM Classic, there are 2 golf courses. So the sort by ID is the same because I want them to be the same. It is the same tournament, so I want that to be the same. But you do have slightly different golf courses. So, and different course ID. So, as I scroll by through all of this, you have the state that the tournament is in, which is also going to be a filter you can use. I'll also have a region that goes with this as well. Year built, architect. So this is going into the, you know, golf course stats, basically. All of this basically are golf course stats. But the thing is, it's like, okay, so I've got architects to here, then we have renovation, and then I have more architects, which is fine. When it starts with the grass stats, I have tee grass 1, tee grass 2, fairway grass 1, fairway grass 2, rough grass 1, rough grass 2, green grass 1, and green grass 2. The fact that there are 2 grasses make filtering challenging. So basically what I want to do is I want to create a table that's like this that has the grass strain and the grass parent. And then you'd be able to filter by the grass parent. I thought it would be just as simple as doing something like this. It isn't. I actually have to build formulas on the back end that combine the stats together. So instead of having it like this, which I'll end up deleting this table because this doesn't mean anything. I will create, I mean, I did this with this table already. I'll extract the grass stats from that previous table. It'll still be linked by the sort by ID, which will be easy. And of course I have, you know, the golf course there, but all the strains of grass here, I actually will link this. Actually, maybe I will keep the grass profiles. I forgot. Yeah, I'll update the grass, the sort by ID differently. And there will be a grass parent for each of those grass stats. And so then when you sort by bent grass, all of these strains of bent grass will show up. If you didn't know, there are several different strains of bent grass. I'm pretty sure these are the same. I haven't validated that yet. It doesn't really matter because it's still going to act the same. And I really don't know what the hell those are. 8 bent grass, 9 bent grass. It is what it is. And I'm pretty sure these are pretty much the same, but I do have different references of those. And then I have different Bermuda grasses. Actually, I have different bent grasses still down here, just depending on where it's sorted by. The long story of all of this, to make it shorter, is just to say that the updates that I thought were going to be easy are not. Creating formulas in the database, which I will show you, is a bit challenging. So here's the report tool that I use. It's called Power BI. This is what you will see on the website. You really can't see how, I mean, for those that have bad eyes or looking on this on mobile, above me, all of this, I'm sorry, my hand removes, but all of those up there, those are all the fields and tables that are in my database. And so something like this, I have a slicer that has these. I can't even zoom in. I wish I could. Oh, I can. Nice. Okay. So I zoom in. You see what I got to do for this? Just to show you an opponent. So I don't have that filter in there yet, but you'll be able to filter out. Actually, I might have it somewhere. Where is it? Let's get rid of this somehow. Let's go X out of that. I have a test. I'll probably delete that. Delete that. I don't need that. I have oh, right here. This is kind of what it was going to look like. And I think I still have it in here. I don't. Bummer. It was just a copy. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, the filters go onto the other page. What a bummer. By the way, what do you like better? Here is the information with green. Here's the information with red. Do you prefer one or the other? I did the green because it's grass, or it's golf course stuff. The red definitely pops a little bit better. It's just the same thing. I just kept it here, and I was originally going to ask all of you, which one do you like? Oh, yeah, Pinky's back, but we still have the splints. Splints for the Pinky. I got them all up here. Where is it? I wish I had, well, here's the thing. So if I were actually to go here, I'm going to put it right in here. Don't mind me. The slicer. And I'll just put it like right here. And then I'll put opponent. Do I put the selection? I forget. Do I want that one? No, I don't want that type of. Maybe I want this one. No, I don't want that one either. I want the drop down, damn it. Here, I'll do this. This is easy. Copy paste. One of the easiest things to do. And instead of that, we go ahead and put the opponent. No, the selection. There we go. So if you go in here and you select Scottie Scheffler, so this is perfect. So Scottie Scheffler, I'll put in Scottie Scheffler, and his playing partner this week is who? Siwoo. It's already forgot. Who's he playing? Jordan Spieth and Siwoo Kim. Yeah, it was Siwoo Kim. Okay, cool. So if I go in here and I put in Siwoo, you can see all the times that Scottie Scheffler played when Siwoo Kim was in his group. Doesn't show you what round of golf. I mean, I could put that on here. That's part of it. That's part of one of the views that you're going to be able to see on the site, is you get to put in his opponent. Well, the thing is, if I go back to my, by the way, Scottie Scheffler, when he plays with Siwoo, 5 birdies in round 1, 5 birdies in round 2, 5 birdies in round 3, and 2 birdies in round 4. Did you just play with him the entire time? I just only see the Open Championship, so I don't know. He couldn't have played with him all 4 rounds. Oh, no. Never mind. No. I don't know what round that, or what round that was. I suppose what I could do is go to a different, whatever. I'm not going to bore you with everything. In order to make that work, if I go back to my database that I was showing you guys, so you see there's all the different grass strains or whatever that come with what I'm doing. If I go to the tee times, I'll show you what the tee times look like. If I scroll down to an actual tournament that matters, so the Cras Punta Cana, there are 4 tee times for each of the golfers. They start on different holes and they're part of different games. The games are just in order, whatever. But in round 1, they have 2 opponents. In round 2, they have 2 opponents. Sometimes in round 3, they have 2 opponents, and sometimes in round 4, they've had up to 3 opponents. This is just going through all the data that I've ever had. So in round 1, believe it or not, you can't just put a filter for Nick Hardy and it will find Nick Hardy either in round 1, round 2. Like, you just can't do that. It won't work. Now, you could link tables together, but you'd have to link each individual field to a different table that's of golfer. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work. It just simply put, it doesn't work. So you have to create a field in your database that combines the two fields here into one. And actually, yeah, the two fields here, all of them actually, I'm sorry, all of them. And that's what you saw in this field that I showed you right here. So you see it says opponent 1, round 1, opponent 1, round 2, opponent 1, round 3, opponent 1, round 4. So it's just all opponent 1s. Well, now it's opponent 2, round 1, round 2, round 3, round 4, and opponent 3, round 4. So it's all of those opponent fields that you see right here up at the top. They all have to go into a similar column like this. So I have to do that. Now that I kind of actually am talking it through, it might not be as challenging as I thought it would be. Actually, it would be, because there's different strains and I want those different strains to be a part of one parent strain. So instead of looking up all of the different bent grass, Bermuda, you know, all of the different strains that I just showed you, or was it grass profiles? Instead of making you go and look, okay, you want all the bent grass? Well, now you got to search throughout all the bent grass and find each one and select each one of those. How nice would it just be oh, we're on bent grass greens. Doesn't matter what the strain is. You just go ahead and put in bent grass and then it filters out. So anyways, it's complicating, and that is why I haven't been able to just get it done like I said I would have gotten it done. But I'm working on it. I am working on it, and hopefully I have it done by this weekend. I am definitely someone who overpromises. I know that's a fault of mine, so I apologize for that. I just have very ambitious goals and dreams that I want to get done, and I want to do them. But I won't lie, since moving down to the cities, I've been wanting to explore more, get out and do stuff, where before I was literally just working on the website. So I didn't have much of a life, but it was able to have me get throughout all of this, which I absolutely love. I love my website. I love all the tools on my website. I want to make my website the best website there is out there for fantasy golf. And then once we dominate fantasy golf, then I want to get it into other sports. So that is the whole goal of everything for me, at least, and where I stand with everything. So hopefully you all stayed with me and heard all of that and appreciate it, if anything. Yeah, so that's it. Oh, Phil Lauer says, I caught up finally. No big deal. Daryl Mooney, nice to see you. Sorry, I kind of went, I just put my head down and went through everything. AJ Love says, I keep making the same mistake lately, playing too many guys in lineups, which if they miss the cut, it hurts all of my lineups. So this week, I'm going to try to not use the same golfers in all my lineups. I mean, that's why I build as many lineups as I do, and then I just spread out my ownership, but I build my lineups carefully and thoughtfully using the optimizer. I'm locking in golfers for all of you guys because there is the off chance you like these golfers and you only want to play these golfers, and that's fine. I'm only building you a limited amount of golfer, or a limited amount of lineups. However, I wouldn't actually advocate. Well, actually, I got two pieces of advice, and they contradict each other. One is, you will hit an optimal lineup easier if you lock in on certain golfers. And if they follow the sweet spot process, perfect. However, I personally think following the sweet spot process, since it's such a, you know, it's basically looking through a sniper scope, and you're getting very narrow. You're zooming in and you're trying to figure out the specific, or the specifics of the target, and where to I'm just going to continue to try to make a hunting reference or whatever, a shooting reference. you're zooming in and you're trying to find your target. You're trying to find all the points you need in order to take down a GPP. So if you can hone in on certain golfers, wonderful. The fact of the matter is, for me, it's like, maybe it's not Scottie this week. Maybe it's Jordan. And it looks like Scottie, Rio Hisatsune lineups look great. But maybe it's Scottie, Højgaard lineups. Maybe it's Scottie, Eric Cole lineups. And just those three golfers paired up with Scottie might make your back end that much different. And your back end might actually be the most important plays. And in fact, I would argue it is the most important plays. And so if you hone in on the wrong golfers, oh, I deleted a message. I'm sorry, Phil. I didn't mean to delete that message. I meant to unpin it. Yeah, my opinion is just, I don't know. I personally am always going to spread out my lineups, and hopefully the sweet spot process hones in on, you know, like if I anchor around Scottie, it'll give me 10 really good Scottie lineups. And maybe there will be some overlap with some of the golfers, but kind of I want just 10 really high quality lineups that are different, because that difference to me provides me more success in my fantasy golf endeavors. And then it's contest selection. If I'm just doing the drive the green contest and say my bankroll every single week was $500, if I could spend $500 every single week, or how much would it cost you to, yeah, if you put, because you can max enter 150, if you put 100 in there, that's, if you put 100 lineups in the $5, that's $500. Yeah. So if I had $500, I'm thinking I'm doing either cores of 2, cores of 3. I'll probably do cores of 3, probably not cores of 4, but definitely cores of 2s and 3s, maybe a 4th core. And then that's how I'm going to try to take down the drive the green contest. But because I do all those winner take all contests, spreading out my lineups, and just throwing them in the different winner take alls, just winning one of those gets me my money back plus a little bit of profit. And those lineups aren't nearly as good because there's 230 people in that contest. So I only need to beat 237 people, I think it is, in order to take down that money. That's pretty easy compared to 35,000 people that you would have in a drive the green contest. So I don't know. It's definitely how you play. If you're doing a single entry or you're doing a bunch of different single entries, it's definitely worthwhile just to put the same lineup in each one of those to try to take them down. I personally just wouldn't do that because I like to spread it out and try to win one contest out of the several that I play. And because I don't care about maximizing my profits, I just care about hitting the profit. That winner take all contest that I just won 2 weeks ago, the one for $1,200, or I mean, I won 1,000, but I also added 280 to the mix. That pays for the rest of the year. I built all unique lineups. Of course, like I added the one lineup into two, or no, for that lineup, that was the only lineup that I had. Because for that winner take all, I don't add that to others. Anyways, that's all. Yeah, that's all that I have. Enjoy the fruits of your labor. Don't just grind. I know. I don't. I burn the candle at both ends. And I pay for it usually on the weekends. I just sleep all day, basically. Daryl Mooney says Endicott can never stay consistent for 4 rounds. He usually only good for 2 rounds and 2 bad rounds. My opinion, anyways. Harrison Endicott. Nobody brought his name up. Is he playing this week? He sure is. $6,200 Harrison Endicott. Has he done anything? $6,200 Harrison Endicott. 8 rounds of golf? That's at the Byron Nelson. Well, actually, I should have kept that. Has he played this year? No, he has not. Did he play last year? Oh, he played a full schedule last year. WD, cut, 52nd, 33rd, cut, 64th, cut. Yeah, I don't know, man. How can we get to Endicott? What has he done here? 52nd and 50th? I don't know, Daryl. I wouldn't waste your time with Endicott. Unless you're building, like, you know, 200 lineups and you want to put them in one, or 100 lineups, you can put them in one. But yeah, we're not. I would never. Would not trust that man. All right. I think that's it. Anybody have any questions before I leave? Before I take off? Say your tomorrow night I will be going live for members only on the YouTube channel. So be here. It'll be 9 p.m. most likely. It might be a little later, you know, with the sun coming out or the sun staying out a little longer. I do plan on playing pickleball tomorrow, which will be the first time in a while since basically my pinky injury. Not because of the pinky, but just battling other things, basically. So I will try to make it before 9. Dig into this tournament a little bit more. So if you're not a member on YouTube, sign up. It's a white tier plus for the members only. And again, I'll be live tomorrow, 9 p.m., maybe a little after. But anyways, I gave you guys some time to ask questions. Since I don't see any questions, that must mean there aren't any questions. Anyways, email me if you want, if you have any questions. Contact me on X. I'll get back to you. But that is it for me tonight. Thank you all for watching. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you on the next one. All right, bye.